Biggity bam. I timed it perfect. Give him 1 second. Yeah, fixing to restart the whole bullshit loop. Take off. What it do, my
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Thursday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. Our featured story, we're going to be talking all about the acquisition of Greenland by the United States. And this is something that has been discussed, as you know,
big news,
since Trump's first term. So it's been years. And ever since Trump took office for his second term, it has been a preoccupation of this administration. They want to acquire Greenland.
How y'all doing tonight?
There's been a lot of talk in the past couple of weeks in particular about maybe even potentially invading Greenland. Now, there is an offer being prepared by Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, to buy Greenland for $700 billion from Denmark.
We bought Alaska.
And there has been much discussion about it. And people are saying, is it even really necessary to own Greenland? Do we need to have it? Or is it good enough to just be able to put our troops there, have a U.S. presence there? And I think, why not? We should have it.
We need it.
We have to have it. We
have
need
two
it.
Adversaries.
Let's plant our flag there. I like the idea of America getting bigger, larger. I don't know about you.
You're not growing, you're dying.
But I like seeing more of the map become America.
Me too.
I like seeing more territory have the American flag flying over it. Venezuela, Panama, Colombia, Cuba, Greenland. Why not? Canada, Mexico. I like it. So I love the idea. We're going to talk all about it tonight, and I'll tell you why. And it's not a meme. It's not just a meme. It is actually a really good idea. And we'll talk about the geopolitical significance of it. I'm not sure how much the average person knows about it. I feel like this discussion has been going on for so long. People know the general arguments, and it has to do with mining. There are a lot of critical minerals in Greenland. You have uranium, which is a big one, but you also have some other deposits of minerals that we need. The rare earth minerals, which is actually sort of a misnomer. They're quite common. It has to do with how much of them you get relative to the quantity of soil that you have to mine. So there's been discussion about the rare earths, about the uranium.
And we invented the
And
rare
I think
earths,
people
pretty much.
generally know at this point the geostrategic significance of Greenland as the Arctic ice sheet begins to melt. Trade routes are going to open up, so there will be a lot of commerce there. And with commerce comes a strategic interest. If a commercial vessel can go through, then a naval vessel can go through and will. And its proximity to the United States. This is very close to home, just like Cuba, just like Venezuela. All those same arguments from the Monroe Doctrine apply here. So we'll talk about some of those, but beyond all that, I think it's just a good investment. More land, if we could swing it, why not? I love it. I really like it. So, and I can't wait to hear how I'm an Israel shill for saying that, right?
Same thing about
Venezuela. We invade
this
island. We invade this ice shelf with 50,000 Eskimos, and you're going to get all these dipshits saying, this is a war for Israel. Like, we could literally invade Greenland. It's practically uninhabited. It's ice. It's mostly ice. There's like 50,000 Eskimos in igloos, and you're going to get Ian Carroll and Max Blumenthal saying, oh, great, another war for Israel. Oh, great, another neocon war for the Jews. It's like,
ridiculous.
Why don't we just take shit? Okay, let's just take stuff that we can. Take whatever you can. That's the law of the world now.
And it is.
Russia takes Ukraine. Israel takes this and that. No one's stopping them. You wish they would, but no one is. So I think it's time for us to join the party. Let's take some stuff for ourselves. Yeah, let's take Venezuela. Let's take Greenland. Plant the flag. I see a lot of people saying, you want to annex Venezuela and Mexico? So let me get this straight. You want to deport all these Hispanics and then take their countries? I didn't say we're going to let them vote.
Right? Puerto Ricans don't vote.
About that? Because I've legitimately seen that. I'm going full imperialist on the show. I'm saying, take the oil, take Venezuela, take Mexico. And I see all these heritage Americans. They're like, no, boy. So Nick wants to deport all these Venezuelans and then take their country.
What, we're going to let them back?
Like, bro, we don't got to let them vote. Dude. I didn't say we got to make them the 51st state.
Yeah.
They're a colony. What about colonialism? Don't you understand? We're not going to give them the right to vote.
It's like
we're just going to take their
giving
stuff.
Puerto Rico the right to vote. You could let them vote for their own
people. Say,
people,
oh boy, we're going to plant our flag and then what? They're going to come and live over here? No, we'll have internal borders.
Yes.
They're not going to be a state. They're going to be subjects. Hello?
Absolutely.
What part of Roman Empire don't you understand?
They don't get
colonies.
American citizenship.
Colonies, not states.
Colonies.
Different.
You're talking about
I'm joking a little bit there, but it's also kind of true. It speaks to the mindset. People are they are the raped. You know, you're like a white guy in the 21st century fantasizing about the Roman Empire, fantasizing about a return to greatness for America, for the West. You start to talk about America taking overseas colonies, and the spiritually and physically raped say, but what about when they vote? Vote?
What the fuck?
We're not even going to be voting here. What are you talking about? They say.
It is kind of silly.
But that's where we are. Even the based chuds. You talk about overseas expansion, they say, oh, but what about when those other people vote? It's like, I don't even want us voting here. You think they're going to be voting there? You've got it all twisted. You have a lack of imagination.
For real.
You know, where we're going, we don't need votes, okay?
Where
we're going, we don't need voting. It's not going to be like that. You know, what part of 1,000-year Trumpenreich don't you understand? What part of vote one more time and then never again? There's not going to be elections.
We'll just have a chance.
No, but we're obviously joking. So we'll talk all about Greenland. We're going to talk about Trump's potential invocation of the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis. I wish he would. He keeps talking about it.
I wish a nigga
amid
would.
the unrest and riots in Minneapolis in response to the ICE deployment. By the way, nobody has been arrested. Do you know that? There have been all these riots happening in Minneapolis. Last night, you have an ICE agent. I think actually it happened this afternoon. He shot a Venezuelan illegal because he was trying to arrest this guy, and a bunch of agitators came out and hit him with shovels. And so ICE barged in, arrested everybody. But in Minneapolis, there's straight up riots going on. They're shooting fireworks at cops, taking over hotels. It's mayhem. And you see the videos by Nick Sorter and these other guys. It's all over Twitter. Do you know that Minneapolis police arrested 0 people last night?
Bro.
So when you see these videos of fireworks blowing up and cops getting beat and the absolute anarchy that's unfolding, nobody's even getting arrested. So Trump says, I'll invoke the Insurrection Act. Bro, do it.
What, like Israel
do
killing innocent people?
Just stop chickening out. I'm just tired of the idle threats. We're going to bomb you. We're going to tariff you. We're going to invoke the Insurrection Act. Always chickens out. Just do it. You're the commander-in-chief. He does it every time. He did it during the BLM riots. He did it during the LA riots.
Let them burn half the country down.
Please pull the trigger. Please kill them, Mr. President. Yes. Please just kill them.
Drop the hammer.
I'm not actually wishing for violence, but Please send in the military
Bring
and
out some
restore
water
order.
cannons,
This is your
something.
country.
The German Shepherd, something.
You are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You are the chief executive over this country.
Used to do it with
And
water
it is
cannons.
lawless. Take some responsibility. Take the reins. Send in the military.
People want a strong
If
leader.
this Jewish communist running the city won't arrest these people, if this gay cuck governor, Tim Walz, doesn't do it, send
It's
in
up to
the
the
military.
federal
That's
government
why
to
you
do it.
were elected.
Yeah.
I don't get it. This
There's
happened the last time.
Lack
In
of
Minneapolis,
leadership in the
BLM,
state.
Summer of
Federal
Love.
government's
Trump
supposed
kept
to step in.
threatening, I'll send him in. I swear I'll do it. I'll invoke the Insurrection Act. Do it. Throw these people in jail. They are trash. Seriously. It's bad enough that they're rioters, which
Welcome
by
aboard,
itself,
Garrett.
we should have zero tolerance for. It's one thing if you want to protest. I'm a huge believer in the First Amendment. You have a right to speak. You have a right to assemble. You have a right to the press. All of that. You have civil liberties.
Jury trial.
But going out after midnight and establishing an autonomous zone and forming barricades in the streets and breaching private businesses or police headquarters,
It's rebellion.
stealing weapons from the police.
Fucking rebellion.
Yeah, that's not First Amendment protected. There should be zero tolerance for that. That's bad enough. But then they're doing it in defense of criminal scammers and illegals. So then it's treason. You got to drop the hammer. Why do we have a President Trump if this
I
stuff
said
is
that, drop
going
the
on
hammer, bro.
in any American city? Drop the hammer. Please kill these people. Throw them in jail. Not actually, don't actually kill them, but throw them in jail. Like you have to go in and shut it down. I'm not actually calling for violence, but Trump needs to send in the military
You show you're
and
not
shut
fucking
it
around.
down.
People won't
We
fuck
voted
around.
for no more chaos, no more riots. We don't want this. Shut it down. So we'll talk about that too. Should be a pretty good show.
Hope so.
Before we get into
Let's
it, I
hope
want to
so.
remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show.
Hook a brother up here. I'm not
Remember to
monetized.
check out the merch
You know what
store,
I'm saying?
Fuentes
Hook a brother up.
store, to get shirts, hats, all that stuff. Subscribe on my website, americafirst.plus. Get access to every episode of the show, everything I've ever done, plus MP3 format, americafirst.plus.
Fucking mortars and shit.
I'm feeling a lot better today. I've been sick all week. Somehow I got sick again. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah, anybody who
I
heard
thought it's
Alex
'cause I
Jones
worked out
earlier,
too
he
hard.
sounded fucked up today.
2026, we're all ascending. We're all looks maxing. I started working out. And then on Monday, I was in so much pain. And I thought, what is going on? Like, am I that much of a wimp?
Welcome aboard there, floppy
And then I got
potato.
this horrible chill. I couldn't shake this chill. I'm like, is it just really cold in here? I took my temperature. I had 101-degree fever. I'm like, what the I was
hate
just sick. A week before Christmas, I got sick all over again. But the fever finally broke. I feel much better today. So I'm energized. I did Alex Jones this afternoon, a couple hours with the big man, with the GOAT.
You know, as
Love
you guys know.
Alex. Love doing a little InfoWars appearance. He is the man. And we talked about all of it. He's so funny. We have a great chemistry now, you know. So I really, every time we do a show, it just gets better and better. So I really enjoyed
guys
it.
set a date
I
yet?
uploaded the replay of that on my Rumble channel. So if you missed it, you could check it out on the channel. I think it just went up a few hours ago. So check that out. We might have some big collaborations this weekend and next week. I'm already back in business. We're hitting the ground running in 26. Full week of shows,
God, praying it's a joke. It's
InfoWars.
the Joe
Might be
Rogan.
doing some big collaborations this weekend. Going into next week, more the following weekend. It's going to be a lot of content, so buckle up. One other thing, before we get into the news, I just have to address this. Oh my goodness. Will this woman leave me alone? Seriously. She just keeps coming back and coming back. She's like every other one of my jilted, seething girlfriends. She keeps coming back for more. She can't get enough. I don't know if she loves to hate me or maybe she hates how much she loves me. But today I wake up, my fever has broken. I have my breakfast, fried chicken and pizza, and I'm watching YouTube, doing my morning routine. Get ready with me.
His afternoon routine.
And then I am subject to an all-out attack from Candace Owens on Twitter.
Oh,
essay after essay. And this is really a load of crap because, you know, I'm limited on X.
Really?
They won't let me buy a check mark. So I only get 280 characters. I don't get the extended character limit because I can't buy a check mark.
That sucks.
So I just get this full frontal attack from Candace Owens. She writes this giant essay, then another one, then another one.
That's fucked up.
And I'm still shaking the cobwebs out. And she's attacking me over some nonsense. Then she does a whole show about me. She's playing clips from my show, the greatest hits. She's playing with her hair. She's batting her eyes. She's touching her face. I'm like, wow. Somebody woke up on the wrong side of my bed today, going out after me. And I'm not going to address most of what she said because most of it is really just...
Or shit.
It's all shit we've heard before. It's all debunked nonsense. When people have a problem with me, they just go to the playbook. They just hit me on everything. Fed, gay, this. You were at the Capitol. You said this, you said that. All the shit we've heard before. But you know what's funny about Candace? This is the latest diversion. People seem to have forgotten. What happened to those Egyptian planes?
Yeah.
I really just have one question. I'm not even going to rebut. I'm not going to refute anything she said. Whatever. Eat your heart out. I have one question for Candace Owens, and this is the only thing I care about. One question. What the hell happened to those Egyptian planes?
Goddamn right.
Because we heard about the Egyptian planes every day and every night for like a month. I think she did 25 shows, 25, standing on the grave of Charlie Kirk, making up this nonsense about Egyptian planes. She said that these Egyptian military planes are following Charlie Kirk. She put together a table of everywhere that Charlie Kirk was, and every time he traveled, an Egyptian plane intersected with his plane. She put together this spreadsheet that Charlie and Erica Kirk were being tailed by these Egyptian planes. Well, maybe you didn't hear, but it was uncovered before Christmas that all of that data is completely fake. It's literally all fake. She got 66% of all the data wrong, just straight up wrong. There was a YouTuber that did the actual research. He paid thousands of dollars to get the data from the relevant sources. He put it together on his own spreadsheet, and he found that not only was most of the data wrong, but that it was extremely wrong.
Show that Sheboon what the deal is.
That in many of the cases, not only were the Egyptian planes not in the same place as Erica Kirk, they were in another continent. So it's not like the plane was 2 hours away or in the same state where you could chalk it up to an oversight. No, they were in another continent. They were on another part of the planet. This was revealed in the second week of December. It was all fake. She came out to address this on December 16th, 2025. This is 30 days ago. On December 16th, 2025, she uploaded a video and she said, I'm aware there's some problems with my data. She said, and people misunderstood it. She didn't get it wrong. People misunderstood. She said, and there was a little sleight of hand there too. She said, the Egyptian planes are following turning point faith events that sometimes Erica and Charlie were at. So now it's turning point faith. Now it's not Charlie, it's not Erica, it's them plus the organization. And she made a commitment. She said, I've been working on an incredible document. an interactive map. She said, I'm uploading it to my website this week. And it is going to show you everything about the Egyptian plains because this is a God thing. And this was placed in my lap. And we don't know, but we know that this is the center of it. This is going to blow the lid on everything. It's been 30 days. 30 days. 30 days. No interactive map. No timeline. Where's my timeline? No timeline. No incredible document on a website. Nothing.
He's picking at
Actually,
this
I don't even think it's been
regularly.
mentioned since.
Picking at this fucking festering
So she
wound.
did a whole show about me.
Making
and look,
her,
I am a fan. I'm a standis. I'm a fandis. I'm a standis of Candace Owens. And I, like all the other schizos, I'm waiting for my incredible document. Where's my interactive map? Where's my timeline? Don't tell me Nick Fuentes is a Fed for the 6 millionth time. Don't tell me Nick Fuentes was at January 6th. Yeah, it was awesome. I gave an awesome speech. I rallied the troops. We failed to take over the government, but we tried anyway. That's a joke. FBI, that's a joke. President Newsom. Yeah, okay, we've heard that before. It's been 30 days. I want my interactive map. But I think that this is the beginning of the end.
I think
for Candace Owens. Credibility shot. Credibility is imploding. None of this stuff is adding up. The Egyptian plane is a stinker. It's totally fake, totally bullshit. The Fort Huachuca thing totally fell apart. Your witness is unreliable. He's a complete freak and an idiot. Now we've resorted to yesterday. I don't even know what we're doing. Now she's talking about time travelers. I actually went back and watched her show from yesterday. She said that when Charlie Kirk was a student in high school, he would jog down the street and street lights would flicker as he passed by.
Oh my goodness.
Because he had some kind of telekinetic ability. He had some kind of energetic ability.
This is fucking psychotic.
And I wish I was making that up. That's real. I couldn't even believe it. Somebody sent it to me. And I went through and I watched the show. Now the theory, forget the Egyptian planes. We're just going to blow past that because I guess that's fake. Forget Mitch and Fort Huachuca. That's fake. Now she's saying that Charlie Kirk was groomed since he was a little boy by lizard agents of the Matrix because they determined he was a psychic. She said, he texted me that he was a time traveler. Why would he say that if he wasn't telling the literal truth? She said he used to tell me that when he jogged down the street, street lights would turn on and off. Okay, so what are you saying there? What's the implication? That Charlie Kirk is some kind of Tesla coil? That Charlie Kirk as an entity he's some kind of disturbance in the space-time continuum? What exactly are you saying now? The electric field is distorted when Charlie walks by? They knew that? Some kind of trans-dimensional force knew it? And now it's on to me. Now I'm part of it. Yes. Brigitte Macron, Netanyahu, the Stanford prison experiment, the French Revolution, Sigmund Freud, and yes, and I'm part of it too. And so is Alex Jones. And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And look, you can't blame on me. Okay. Stop with the diversion, cut the shit, give us the map. Okay. This is like National Treasure. Give us the map. The timetable, the interactive map. Where is it? Where's the map, Candace? You know what else is really funny, though? This one really gave me a laugh. She is so mad that I said black people have low IQ. Because she said it like 5 times on the show. She kept going back and hitting it in reverse and going back over it over and over.
Oh, man.
She said, maybe Nick can learn something from me because I have a sub-Saharan IQ. Like, she's so mad. And it's like, look, bro, I mean, you are an idiot. And that kind of goes with the territory. I'm not saying there's no smart black people, okay? I'm saying that on average, black people have a lower IQ. That is just true, okay? Sigmund Freud didn't make that up, okay? The Sumerians didn't make that up. That was not, they didn't edit the history books. That's just true. And anyone would know that by spending any amount of time in like a black neighborhood, okay? Or spending any amount of time on social media. It's just one of those things. So I said that on her show. I don't think she ever recovered. I said on her show, I'm like, look, race is real. Whites and blacks are different. They're equal, but they're different. And the reason that blacks cannot create successful societies is because on average, they have a much lower IQ. And IQ is the predictor for everything. I mean, you can actually map what kinds of jobs you can do onto your IQ quintile. So for example, people that are like 90 IQ, they can do menial tasks, repetitive tasks. With some training, they can do repetitive tasks, things that you do over and over with your hands. At 115 to 120 IQ, you can do tasks that require reasoning and critical thinking. And so this is why a society of people with an average IQ of 100 can industrialize and create a complex, large civilization with bureaucracy and institutions and this sort of thing. And that's why a society of people where the average is 85 cannot develop a middle class, cannot do these things. And she got really hung up. She was like, well, what about Egypt? We was kings. I was like, Egypt isn't in sub-Saharan Africa, bro. So she came back on that. She's like, my sub-Saharan IQ, bro, chill. She's very insecure about her intelligence, like a lot of black people and like a lot of women. She's very self-conscious about her low IQ. And look, it's okay. Fortunately for her, she race mixed with a white person, so her children have a chance at being higher IQ. That's the good news. So you don't need to beat yourself up about it that you're a dummy. It's okay. I mean, you're good in other ways, you know? Good entertainer, good speaker, and all that. IQ, not her strong suit. But yeah, I almost felt bad. I actually felt bad because it clearly hurt her feelings very deeply. Sore subject. I understand that. So anyway, so that's my response to her. I mean, she wanted to throw all the, you said this, you said that. It's just like a load of crap. We're not talking about all the ADL spreadsheet, the hit piece that's been created about me. Let's talk about what matters. Let's talk about what you talk about on your show, which is Egyptian planes. We're not getting into a diversion. We're not getting into some other realm where you're going to throw it all back on me. Well, you can throw it all back on me, but like in that way, let's get back to what actually matters. You said for months that Egyptian planes were following Charlie Kirk. You said you were going to release an interactive map, and then you just never followed up. Why? Where is it? Where's the accountability? Either admit you were wrong or shut the fuck up and log off forever. Seriously, because that is like the bar is on the floor in terms of journalistic integrity. You gassed everybody up. You got everybody whipped up into this paranoid schizophrenia. People are talking about maroon shirts and beekeepers and secret transgenders and trap doors and energy weapons. And this thing about Egyptian planes, you fucked up. Admit it. You got all the information wrong because you're a fucking idiot. You can't read a table because you're a low IQ idiot, and you messed it up. You staked your career on this. You hung your hat on that. That was the foundation. It became the foundation of the whole conspiracy. You fucked up. You didn't do your due diligence. You didn't run it by your white producers who are men. You didn't run it by the Supreme Court, your husband. You messed up. You made yourself look like an ass. You destroyed your credibility. If you want to build your credibility back, fess up and admit your mistake. But you're not going to get away with it No one's going to forget. Nobody is going to move on. You're not going to create a big diversion and pivot to attacking me or on to the next thing.
Hell yeah.
22 episodes talking about Egyptian planes. You said you knew. You said that's the proof. Tucker, your buddy, who's best friends with Kevin Spacey, said, I happen to know that for a fact. That's weird because it's all fake.
Welcome.
So what do you mean? You know, that's like Tucker Carlson's favorite thing. He loves to say that. I can't tell you how I know, but I know that's really because
Welcome, Carbonate.
the emperor has no clothes. You have been caught with your hand in the cookie jar. That's all bullshit. Somebody paid $950 for the data and reassembled the table for you, and it's all fake. So where's our interactive map? I can't wait to see it, but something tells me we're 30 days out, we're never going to see it. She launched this huge attack on me today, and I replied, she said, I want to debate you on whether the world is run by satanic pedophiles like Brigitte Macron and Sigmund Freud and this, that, and Aleister Crowley. I said, I'm really more interested in the thing you've been talking about for the past 3 months, which is Egyptian planes. She didn't answer that on her show today. Would have been so easy. She just pretended like it was never even mentioned. So we need to start a daily count. 30 days overdue on the interactive map. Next update tomorrow. We're 30 days out from the interactive map. When are we going to get it? How many days? 100 days? 500 days? When are we going to get our map about the Egyptian planes? Because, you know, until we get that, this is a completely unserious person who misled the entire country.
She's boring.
She embellished and fabricated claims to blow up her show. She was searching for something, anything, to keep the soap opera going, and she didn't do her journalistic due diligence.
Low IQ.
And now she wants to pretend like that never happened. Well, we're not going to let her pretend that that never happened. It happened. Egyptian planes, you live by it, you die by it. Your credibility lives and dies by that. Where are they at? Where's the map? Where's the timetable? You're not going to throw that on me. We want to see the map. So anyway, so that's my response to that whole thing. And if you have this brilliant sub-Saharan IQ that you're so proud of, well, then let's see it. You know, put it together for us. But that's that. We are going to move on. We're not going to spend too much time on that. Like I said to Alex Jones, the problem with crazy bitches is that if you spend too much time thinking about them or talking about them, you become crazy too. That is because women are irrational. They don't use arguments. They don't talk about stuff. They play on your emotions. They talk about relationships.
Stealing.
They get into stuff like that. And you're never going to win an argument when you get into it with a psycho gaslighting woman. Anybody knows that. You know, it's that old axiom about, you know, arguing with your wife. If she's right, she's right. If she's wrong, she's right. Happy wife, happy life. You just cannot engage on that level. So we can't get too much into that. But you know, she's in the man's world. All right, you want to play dress up. You want to LARP as an influencer. I'm putting on my pantsuit. I'm a little political influencer. Okay, little girl. Okay, little Miss Girl Boss, where's our map? No, you can't, you know, throw a glass of wine on me. No, this is not a soap opera. You need to do your job and show us your evidence. Show us all this research you've been conducting. Super sleuth, mommy sleuth, isn't that what they call themselves? All right, little girl. All right, little mommy sleuth. Where's our data? You want to play in the man's game? Where's your research?
Ruh-roh.
We're not playing all that other stuff. You want to go and sit in the knitting circle and talk about the other bitches about drama, go
Gossip
ahead.
And shit. Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But you want to play in the man's world and talk about conspiracies, you got to show us the numbers. But anyway, that's that. I do want to move on. I want to get into the Greenland situation. This is a really important thing. And I told you on Monday we're going to get into all the biggest stories from the past couple of weeks. I don't know that Greenland was really in the news today, but it's been back in the news in the past couple of weeks. and it's been talked about, especially since Trump got back into office, that this administration is seriously looking at a way to acquire Greenland, either by purchasing it through negotiation, through military force. And finally, today, there was an announcement, this is from Fox News Digital, that the State Department is preparing a package to purchase Greenland from Denmark for $700 billion. That is the latest. And this is a story from Fox. It says, quote, President Trump's push for the U.S. to acquire Greenland could carry an estimated price tag of $700 billion. The estimate, reported by NBC News, was said to have been calculated by scholars and former U.S. officials involved in early planning discussions surrounding Trump's interest in acquiring the island as a strategic buffer in the Arctic against adversaries such as Russia and China. Trump wrote on Wednesday, quote, the United States needs Greenland for the purpose of national security. If the United States doesn't act, Russia or China will. He added that anything less than U.S. control of Greenland is unacceptable, and argued that the Arctic territory is vital to American defense interests, including the Golden Dome missile defense system in development. Trump's renewed push has increased tensions with Denmark and other NATO allies. Troops from several European countries deployed to Greenland on Thursday for a 2-day mission aimed at boosting the territory's defenses. France, Germany, Sweden, and Norway are participating in the exercise, according to Fox News, with leaders saying the mission is intended to demonstrate NATO's ability to deploy military assets into the Arctic quickly. Greenland is the world's largest island and has a population of roughly 56,000 people, with most living along its ice-free coastline. About 80% of the territory is covered by ice caps and glaciers. So, of course, this has been a discussion for years. Ever since Trump's first term, there has been this ambition for the United States to, in some way, acquire the Greenland, the Greenland territory. And I know that for a lot of people, this sounds completely random. Most people don't think about Greenland, don't know anything about Greenland, don't know where it is, whose jurisdiction it's under. And so for a lot of people, this is like completely random, completely out of the box. And if you have paid attention, there has been much discussion. At this point, I think it's almost trite about the benefits. So for those that don't know, Greenland is situated in the Arctic Circle, in the northern Atlantic, or in the Arctic Ocean.
The Zokop Islands.
And it is technically under the control of Denmark. It is self-governing, but it's under the jurisdiction of the Kingdom of Denmark. And it's been this way for a long time, that they've had a relationship with the Danish government. Trump is interested in either buying it, conquering it, and much has been said about the benefits of this, and we could talk about some of them. First and foremost, people talk about the mineral wealth of Greenland. Greenland has a lot of uranium in the country, or in the territory, I should say, which might be important for future nuclear energy, nuclear weapons. And like with all critical minerals and raw materials, it's a zero-sum game. If we don't have it, then another country will. China has expressed interest in mining the raw materials in Greenland. And so if we don't have them, then China will get them. China will get the uranium. Greenland is also rich in rare earth minerals, which China has a near monopoly on sourcing those and processing those. So people say if we acquire Greenland, we get the uranium and we get the rare earth minerals, which we need for iPhones and for other technology. And that will help us circumvent China's monopoly on some of those critical minerals.
They don't have a monopoly. They just
bigger
have the
than
market
that.
corner.
People
They
say
sell it cheap.
is that in the future, the Arctic is going to become an area of strategic competition. As it stands right now, the North Pole and the Arctic is mostly covered by thick sheets of ice. And this makes it impassable by normal commercial vessels or military vessels. And so as such, there is not a lot of commercial or military activity happening there. If you want to send a cargo ship through the Arctic, you need an icebreaker to go through it. And Russia has more icebreakers than anybody. Other countries have very few or none.
China has some
and most
now.
countries don't build them at all. So for the past century, there's not a lot of activity happening in the Arctic. This is not an area of strategic importance for that reason. In the future, however, it is anticipated that due to climate change, whatever you believe, if it's anthropogenic climate change or if it's natural climate change, it is anticipated that in the future, as the polar ice sheet shrinks, then this area is going to open up. And the Arctic Ocean, like all the other oceans, is going to become a place where there will be significant commercial activity. And so there will be commercial vessels sailing on Russia's north coast. They call this the Northern Sea Route. And so vessels will be moving goods in and out of Siberia in northern Russia to China, to Europe. And this will circumvent the other sea route, which of course goes through the Suez Canal. There's also a major sea route across the Arctic. And then there's a major sea route on Canada's north coast. So this is anticipated to become, again, due to climate change, polar ice sheet melts, there's going to be a lot of commercial shipping there. And then, of course, that becomes an area of strategic competition as well. If you want to control the movement of goods and people, and what goes with that is military personnel and supplies, submarines, you're also going to need to have a military presence there as well to oversee the shipping lanes, to control key choke points. And so just like we talk about the Taiwanese Strait, just like we talk about the Panama Canal, the Suez, this is going to become another area where competition is going to start. And so they say for the purpose of projecting American power in the Arctic, it's important to get as much territory there as possible. In particular, to oversee these shipping lanes, to control choke points where Russian submarines might move, in these choke points between Greenland and Iceland, Iceland and the UK. And so it has to do with sea routes. Now, the other strategic importance, which has been talked about a lot, and maybe this is the biggest one, is how it pertains to missile defense. So for those that don't know, most of Russia's missile silos are around Finland. They're in the north of Russia. And if a Russian intercontinental ballistic missile were to launch at the United States, they're not going east, they're not going west, they're going north over the North Pole into the United States. And Trump explicitly talks about this. He says that we need Greenland for the Golden Dome. What is the Golden Dome? Well, it's obviously a reference to the Iron Dome. Iron Dome is an anti-missile system or an anti-rocket system. It's meant to shoot down projectiles and protect a particular geographic area. The difference, however, is that Iron Dome is meant to protect a very small area from very primitive rockets launched at short range. And so this has to do with a small area looking at a particular trajectory of shorter primitive munitions, like those fired by Hezbollah on Israel's border in northern Israel, southern Lebanon, and like Israel's border with Gaza in southwestern Israel. Golden Dome differs from this because this is a true anti-ballistic missile system. Golden Dome, unlike Iron Dome, is meant to cover a very large area, the entire continental United States. Iron Dome might protect a city from a small rocket. Golden Dome is meant to protect the continental United States
from ICBMs,
intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah.
So the territory is bigger, but also the type of projectile is different too. And how do they differ? A rocket has a very low arc. It goes up, it comes down, and it's pretty simple. It's about how you would imagine it to work. Intercontinental ballistic missile goes up into outer space and then comes down. Some of these hypersonic missiles so fast they're undetectable. And so it's critical when you're intercepting an intercontinental ballistic missile, if it's even possible or reliable, is that you detect it where and when it launches. You get an early warning, and it's strategically located near where the missile is being launched. So if Russia is launching missiles at the United States, you want an anti-ballistic missile system forward deployed closer to where the missiles are being launched. And if you look at Greenland, it is right in the middle of where those missiles would have their trajectory in outer space. It's right in the middle if you look at it from the top of the globe rather than looking at a normal globe or looking at the Mercator projection of a normal map. So they say the real strategic reason, and putting the strategic in strategic defense having to do with strategic weapons, which are nuclear weapons, they say we need Greenland to have early warning systems. We need Greenland to have anti-ballistic missile systems forward deployed against Russia so that we could detect an incoming ICBM. They say that's the reason. So these are kind of the big three reasons they say. And it's like with everything, there's always multiple reasons, multiple justifications given. Like with Venezuela, it's oil, it has to do with Cuba, it has to do with whether Iran, Russia, and China are involved. It has to do with a lot of things. Similarly, Greenland, you've got critical minerals and uranium. You've got these Arctic sea routes, which are going to become competitive. And then you've got missile defense. In my opinion, however, the biggest thing is that Greenland is just close to the United States. It's close to Canada. It's close to the United States. It's close to Iceland. It's close to the United Kingdom. And it is true that in the future, if the North Pole melts and it opens up to commercial and naval vessels, then this is going to become a very relevant piece of territory. And if we do not own it, if we do not have it, it is true that other countries will take it. They will try to take it, and they already are. China published a white paper in 2018 about this. China wants to get into the Arctic Council. Even Russia doesn't want this. There's an Arctic Council of all the nations that have claims in the Arctic. China applied for membership, and Russia even said, Arctic Council, you don't border the Arctic. You're 1,000 miles away from the Arctic. And China said, well, we're a near Arctic power, and we're going to become an Arctic power. So China wants to project power there. Russia wants to project power there. We are engaged, as I said on Monday, in a strategic competition with great power rivals. Whether we like it or not, that is the case. Russia and China. And in particular, we are engaged in a competition with them in this emerging theater of competition and conflict. If we do not take it, they will. They are interested in it, and it is in their interest.
Of course they want to
take
fucking
it. China has already made overtures to Greenland, trying to invest in mines, airports, research stations. Why do you think that is? It's the same reason that China took an interest in South and Central America. It's the same reason that China built a space station in Argentina.
Foothold.
It's the same reason that China is building deep water ports in Ecuador and Peru, in Jamaica. It's because this is an area where they could potentially threaten the United States. This is an area where they can gain intelligence on the United States.
They can get a leg up.
Forward deploy military assets near the United States. They could disrupt U.S. commercial activities. It's for the same reason. China wants the territory. They want to build stuff there, which is dual use, so they can plant a flag, so they can start bringing their personnel, so that they could start bringing their people, so that they can make Greenland dependent on them, so that one day maybe they could build a military base there. And so this is where, when Trump says we have to have it, it's not enough that we have our troops there. It's not enough that we have access to it. There is no substitute for ownership. And here's why. If America puts its flag down and we say this is now America, this is ours, this is our territory, then there's going to be no Chinese anything. There's going to be no Chinese research station. There's going to be no Chinese anything. And if we wanted them out, we could kick them out. And if they didn't listen, Well, it's backed up by the U.S. military. No ifs, ands, or buts. The United States will defend its own clay. It will defend its own soil. Will defend its own people and personnel and infrastructure. So in the future, China has designs on Greenland. Russia has designs on it. They're getting pushy. They're being sneaky. They're writing up plans about it. If it's in Danish hands, well, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe the next president is out to lunch. Maybe in the future, that NATO Article 5 commitment, maybe it's a little bit less ironclad. Who knows what could happen? China might test. They might test that. Is this a real tripwire? Can we intervene here? And will it trigger U.S. intervention? Is the U.S. going to go to war for a Danish protectorate or something, a Danish vassal, a self-governing member of the Danish kingdom? They might test it. They will test it. And if they will test it and contest it, then they might eventually have it. And that is unacceptable. It is unacceptable for China or Russia to have that piece of territory and be right in the middle of effectively the Atlantic, right in between the United States and the United Kingdom, right on the doorstep of Canada and North America. And so what happens in the future when you have Chinese amphibious assault vehicles and Chinese tanks and Chinese drones and Chinese containerized weapon systems, and they go north through Siberia, out the port, they go across the Arctic, and they bring them to Greenland. And now they're right there again. This is diminishing the distance between the United States and our strategic rivals. So there's no substitute for ownership. And what I would liken this to is Alaska, Hawaii, Cuba, for that matter, Puerto Rico. Could you imagine if there was a scenario where the United States did not control Hawaii, Guam?
Those are all just super strategic islands and locations.
Did not have a military presence in Japan, in the Philippines, in these other countries, we would lose control over the Pacific. China would have broken out already. They would control all that stuff by now. They would have intimidated all these countries. They would have military bases. They wouldn't need to build them in the South China Sea out of nothing. Could you imagine if Alaska was a Russian colony?
It was.
During the Cold War? We never would have survived that. Could you imagine if Puerto Rico was a colony of some other country? And who knows, if that were invaded, if Cuba was truly under the subjugation of a foreign power, 90 miles from Florida, it's the same thing. And so acquiring Greenland right now seems like
makes sense.
It's random, or it's too ambitious, or maybe it's unnecessary for us to actually have it. But that is just simply short-sighted. In 50 years, we will be engaged in a great power competition truly with China. They do have their eyes set. They have designs on these territories. They are trying to pierce the armor in our hemispheric defense, our fortress in the Western Hemisphere. And if we leave that to like Denmark, it's a country with no military. They're in NATO. Russia is testing NATO. Look at what Russia is doing in Europe, sending drones over every airport in Germany and Belgium and Denmark. In all these countries, they are testing that NATO Article 5 guarantee. They do it all the time.
China was just testing us with fucking balloons and shit.
In some ways, that's what Ukraine is about, and what this collective security agreement is about with Ukraine. China and Russia don't take Europe seriously. And if that's Danish clay, if that's Danish territory, they're not going to take that seriously. And all that is going to do is set the stage for a crisis down the line. Literally no different than Ukraine. Ukraine is another one where it's sort of like an ambiguous guarantee. It was sort of understood in the Budapest Memorandum that we would protect Ukraine, but they're not a NATO member.
And they gave up their nukes like idiots.
Sort of collective security understanding with the United States and the West. Russia contested that. They tested the tripwire, and we were forced to come in after. We were forced to try to rush to their defense And it's not going to work. Russia's going to have it. And mark my words, the same will happen in Greenland. So they're technically part of Denmark, but they have self-rule. China's trying to buy their way in. The United States is temporarily pushing that off. Who knows what could happen down the line if the United States remains on top of that. If China gains a foothold and they try something, once again, we're caught on defense. So the thing about territory is it's like real estate. They're not making any more of it. There's only so much of it. And every country wants to control it, especially in our neighborhood. Our great power rivals want a slice of that. It is a zero-sum game. We want to control territory by them, to contain them, to prepare for a potential attack, to blockade them, choke them off, and the reverse is also true. A lot of people say this is a vanity project. Trump wants to grow the United States. He wants to leave his mark by gaining more territory like James Polk or like other presidents that have expanded the United States.
That doesn't sound all
And
that
I think there's probably some truth to it. I don't mind at all.
Maybe some, but
I think that is a healthy incentive. I think America should be getting bigger. We should have more territory. Bring them in and build a military base on top of it. It's in the Western Hemisphere. It's ours. So broadly speaking, I like the imperial ambitions of the United States. The Western Hemisphere is our fortress. That is what we need to defend ourselves. People don't realize we are in danger. We are constantly in danger.
They're testing
Russia
the fences
and China are
at
testing
all
the
times.
waters. They are pushing outward. They do have global ambitions. That is why China wants an Arctic Belt and Road Initiative. They want an Arctic Silk Road, just like they have in the Pacific, just like they have with Latin America, just like they have in the Indian Ocean. They want the same thing in the Arctic because they have global ambitions. And the way that we protect our...
It's all just them chipping away at our global hegemon. They're just chipping away at our control. Slowly but surely.
Survival and our economic defense interests is that we have to lock down the entire Western Hemisphere. So people wanted a leader. That was part of the appeal of Trump in 2016. When he came down the escalator, he said, we need a real leader. Not like a small L leader, like, oh, he's the leader of our country. No, we need like a capital L. We need a leader. We need a truly great leader. And what is a great leader other than a leader that takes territory? Other than a leader that gets victories? You know how you're winning? You have more territory than you started out with. That's how you know you're winning. So taking Venezuela, taking Greenland, taking the Panama Canal, taking Cuba. I support these things. Putting the American flag all over the map. I like it. I love that. That's good. That's good for us, and it's good for you. If you're a citizen with a U.S. passport, why would you be against your country getting bigger? If you are a citizen of the United States of America, if you are a U.S. passport holder, why would you oppose your country getting bigger, richer, getting more resources, more stuff, planting our flag in more places? You shouldn't. That's good for us. And what's good for us is good. That's what America First means. It means the survival and prosperity of the American people first. And by the way, as far as Greenland is concerned, it really begs the question. There are 55,000 people on this island. 55,000. Do people realize what a small number that is? There are 3 million people living in the city of Chicago. 55,000 in the largest island in the world. That's nothing. It's nothing. They don't have a military. They don't have industry. They survive off of like fishing. Okay? These are like fishing villages in the Arctic, and there's no people, and there's no industry, and there's no military. And people say, well, it's technically Denmark's. Okay, who cares? And how big is Denmark? And what kind of military do they have? How many people live in Denmark? What kind of economy do they have? What kind of military do they have? And so what? They showed up a couple hundred years ago. Now it's theirs forever?
They actually, the Norse.
No, I don't think
showed
so.
up before
Oh, and now
even
we
the
just have to
Inuit.
let them have it. No, this giant island with all the uranium and all the rare earths sitting in this strategically important region, it belongs to the 20,000 Eskimos.
I mean, when we took America from the Indians, it was because they weren't using the land. It was a waste. It's the same thing with Greenland. Denmark isn't doing anything with it. They can't. They don't have the money. They don't have the ability. They need to just let the adults do their thing.
No one can touch it. No one touch it. No one look at it. It's theirs. And technically, it's also Denmark's because, I don't know, they came there a little while ago. What are you talking about? Another bigger country is going to kick down the door. If it makes China more able to destroy us, China will destroy them. They will gobble it up. Are you stupid? If you are a giant island with fresh water, uranium, critical minerals, you're right next to the United States, and you got 50,000 people that cannot defend the island, do you think China is going to let that stand in the way of a platform to attack the United States? Of course not.
It's like having a huge aircraft
If they
carrier
could,
right there.
they would take it in a heartbeat. They can, they have the capability. It's just that right now, it might not be strategically viable because it's controlled by a NATO country. Maybe they don't want to challenge the United States. But of course, it is a matter of national security for China or Russia to have it. And it wouldn't take them a second to think about whether they would devour that territory. But we have to be the stupid people and think about national sovereignty and, well, it's technically Denmark's. And, well, Denmark is going to let us. Denmark is going to let us. Try and fucking stop us. I love that.
Denmark is a vassal state
lets
to
us
us
put our
as it
military
is.
there. Denmark lets us use Greenland for our military. I would like to see Denmark try and stop us.
Seriously.
As a matter of fact, I would like to see all of Europe try to stop us. They let us use Greenland. They let us do whatever we want. Try and stop us from doing whatever we want. The difference is we spend $1 trillion per year on our military. The biggest other
1.5
country
trillion
in the
now.
European Union and NATO, they spend $65 billion. That's the difference. I see all these idiot commentators in the UK, in Europe. They say, oh, this is ridiculous. The United States doesn't need to have it. We already let them use it. Let us try and fucking stop us. It's the opposite. We let you have your countries. We let you exist. Who do you think was holding back the Soviet Union for 50 years, idiot? What do you think was standing in the way of 100,000 Soviet tanks, which would have never stopped in Germany, by the way, if it wasn't for us?
Yeah.
What do you think was standing in between them and the whole rest of Europe for 50
Behind
years?
the Iron
preventing
Curtain.
them from marching all the way from Berlin to Lisbon. What do you think was standing in the way of them? And then mounting an amphibious assault in the UK. It was us.
True.
That was the United States of America, which maintained the second largest nuclear arsenal, which built a strategic air force, which has the burden of a military-industrial complex. That was us. You let us use Greenland? No, we let you exist as Europe. You're
Right.
welcome. You should be grateful that we
Seriously.
don't take a whole lot more.
I left him for dogs.
We could take Greenland, we could take Copenhagen, we could take Portugal, we could take Spain, we could take all of it. Try. You think the United Kingdom could stop us? Try. Seriously, try. They can't stop Russia. They can't stop China. You think they could stop us?
Their own people won't even
I'm
fight
getting
for
really
them.
sick of this belligerence from the Europeans. I don't know who they think they are.
Seriously.
They get together and say, well, we're demanding a collective security agreement for Ukraine. We already let the United States use Greenland. I don't know what they're on about. They need to have it. We need to have it because you can't defend it.
Straight up.
Denmark does not have a military industrial complex. As far as we're concerned, they don't have a military. That's why we need to have it. We need to have it because we can defend it. You can't. And you can't defend it because you've spent all your money on welfare for Africans. That's
all our money. All our money they spent on that shit.
You can't defend it because for the last 100 years, we've spent all our money on bombs and planes and guns and tanks and aircraft carriers, and you spent it on free healthcare and free education so that you wouldn't have the burden. You're welcome.
And now you're losing your countries to Arabs.
They say, why do you have to have it? Because you cannot defend it. Greenland can't defend themselves. Denmark can't defend Greenland. The whole European Union couldn't defend Greenland from China or from us. So they shouldn't have it. If it's a national security interest for us, then we must have it. Enough with these like exercises. We're going to pay obeisance to these like Western European countries with no military. Hey guys, can we buy this from you? What do you mean?
Their glory days are long since.
It's totally crazy. And I think on some level, that is part of the frustration. It is that we pay for this giant military. We have suffered from social atomization, and we no longer get any of the benefits of any of it. Right?
Pretty much.
You and your parents and your grandparents have been paying for this giant military for our entire lives. And we don't have any of the benefits of it. We just get humiliated everywhere. We lose everywhere. We invade countries. It really doesn't even matter to us. It's not really, we do it on behalf of Israel.
Morality.
So we have this empire, but like none of the benefits of it. We don't have any of the decisive, tangible victories. We neglect our own neighborhood while fighting in Israel's neighborhood. And as it pertains to capitalism,
we literally have all the responsibilities of an empire, but none of the positives, none of the benefits.
We have this free market system, this international trade system, a fiat money system, and we're not even rich anymore. And we're not even rich. Nobody's even rich anymore. People have roommates. People are like 29 with roommates. They're building these like tiny homes where you have to climb a ladder to get to a loft. You have the shrinkflation at Chipotle and everywhere else. So the spirit of our nation has been killed. Like the vitality of our nation has been killed by empire and capitalism, but we don't even have the benefits. We're not rich and we're not powerful. So how do we reverse this? We need to give a life-affirming spirit to our country.
And the thing is, the reason why they have to do this with the military is because Hollywood doesn't do their job anymore. All of our cultural institutions that used to spire us as American white men, they have turned their backs on us and just said, no, we want you to just die. We're going to import new people. They used to have that job of inspiring us to do great things. Now we're relegated to our fucking military having to inspire us. It's sad.
Enthusiastically embrace mercantilism, autarky, empire. Let's breathe some life into the country. Let's start taking some territory for ourselves. Let's make it work for us. Let's make ourselves rich and powerful again. Let's take Greenland. Let them worry about it. You want to protect Ukraine? You start spending some money on your military, pussy.
We've been paying for years.
Europe has been getting free healthcare and free pot and free education because we defend them. Now you want us to defend Ukraine on your behalf. You pay for your military. We're pulling up the drawbridge to Fortress America here. We take Greenland. So anyway, that's a truly America first mentality. And people need to get more in the spirit of that. That is what America is. People need to get comfortable that that is what America has always been. When has America ever stopped expanding? Question. You know, all these people want to talk about heritage Americans. I'm sorry, are we still 13 colonies? People talk about founding stock. Well, what happened after we founded the country? We just kept expanding.
Manifest destiny.
always more.
Go west and grow young
more
with
territory,
the country.
more war, more conquest, more settlements. And when we took the whole continental United States, we went into the oceans, more. Puerto Rico, Guam, Philippines, Cuba, Alaska, Hawaii. And then after World War II, we built a global empire. We built U.S. bases in Japan and Germany, everywhere in the world. This is what we always do. So people say, we need to get back to this time when America's a republic and, we just hang out within our own borders. No, wrong. We need an imperial presidency for an American empire. We've been in one for a long time, but we don't call it that. We've done it for everybody else. It's been this altruistic empire.
Yeah.
We need to become an empire that is America
for ourselves.
first. We need to start getting some of the benefits. So take Greenland.
Yes.
Take Greenland. You can buy it, fine. Buy it. You don't want to upset the Europeans. I understand that. There's arguments behind that, which we could flesh out at another point. Buy it, do it through in a way that's legitimizing, but acquire Greenland, acquire Canada, acquire Venezuela, acquire Cuba, acquire Colombia. And a lot of people disagree with this. They say this is a terrible idea. We want to add all these people to our country. We have to reimagine everything. And I said it at the top of the show kind of jokingly. I said, on the show, I'm always talking about how America should expand, and people say, well, if you expand America, you're just throwing your borders around more brown people, and then they're going to vote for Democrats.
Don't make them citizens.
Who said anything about letting them vote?
Puerto Ricans don't get to vote.
Giving them
our shit.
Electoral representation. Nobody said that. Nobody said that at all. And we didn't even say necessarily we would formally annex them, but just take control over the situation. It's staggering how many people just negotiate against themselves. And this is why I do have some admiration for these autocrats in other countries, because they just go and do it. China is just building ships 400 times more tonnage than we are even capable of. They're just doing it. They want to contest the border with India. They just build whole new towns on the border with India. They send a bunch of people there. They build highways, bridges, airports. They build whole cities and nobody even lives in them. And, that's not like a good economic policy, but they just do it. They build islands in the middle of the South China Sea.
They build
it's totally illegal. They do it anyway.
Replicate cities. They
just have this can-do mentality. And I wish we had that in America. Instead, we have this very small thinking. We got to get away from a petty, small version of American nationalism.
All roads may lead to Israel, but all conversations don't have to. I'm fucking tired of this shit. Like, everybody, Israel. Can we talk about something else for 5 minutes?
Hey man, we just want to take over the government to leave everybody alone. We want to withdraw all our bases, and, we just want to close the borders, and we just want to hang out and be chill. We need to embrace a larger perspective of what America first can be. And that means putting ourselves on a global scale. So I'm totally in favor of it. And that doesn't mean giving women the right to vote in Afghanistan. It means
subjugating them.
The minerals that we need. Why would we be in a hostage situation over rare earths with China? Just go and invade the other countries that have them. I'm not worried about building a democracy in Afghanistan so that women have the right to vote. I'm worried if we have the critical minerals that we need, the antimony and, rare earths, and
we have absolutely no business setting up governments and institutions for other countries. If they want a democracy, they need to struggle for it like we did. We fought civil wars in England, civil wars in America. It took us 1,000 years to reach the cognitive plane to where we were ready for democracy. I mean, a lot of wars, a lot of struggles. And these people think they can just jump the line, just adopt our Constitution, or move here and suddenly they become high-minded enough to do democracy. No, it doesn't work that way. You get shit like Minnesota.
And lithium and uranium, and we want the things that we need. Those are the kinds of interventions that we need.
Mm-hmm.
We need territory to defend the Western Hemisphere. We need platforms to control international trade. We need to control the choke points. We need to have a reliable source of energy, not just fossil fuels, but everything else. Like, this is what we need to do. We need to win the race in the 21st century. So I love it. And I just love the spirit of it. I really am a huge believer. This is the last thing I'll say about it. I really am just a believer in the vibe.
Yeah.
I see these edits on TikTok and Instagram.
Like
they play Around the World, that old song, that like electro
Epcot.
pop, like Euro pop song from the 90s, Around the World. And it's a map of the U.S. flag in America, Greenland, Cuba, Venezuela. And I'm like, this is changing the consciousness. It's surreal.
And everybody has to notice that, you know, the whole country is thinking in different terms now. You know, right now we're reconsidering what we're going to be as a polity, as a peoples, you know, as a nation. What is America going to look like in 20 years? What are our goals? What are our main goals going to be?
This feels like the future is being brought forth.
I like that.
Because for so long, my entire life, you grow up in America and there's this suffocating sense.
Same shit over and over.
That the best times are behind us. Doesn't it feel like that? That the best times are not only behind us, but they're long gone. We are on the other side of the hill, and all that is left for us is to see our country slowly die and deteriorate and then cease to exist. That is the consciousness that we grew up in. People say it's a late stage empire, late stage republic. All that is waiting for us is ruin. It's a slow, inexorable descent into extinction. And all the good stuff is behind us, and it's just over. And on top of that are these feelings of guilt and shame. This feeling that we are not capable of doing anything. We're weak. We lost. We were in control, and now we're not. We had all the power, and now we don't. It was our time, and now it isn't. Now it's someone else's turn. We are at the back of the line, and the future belongs to every other country. The future belongs to China. The future belongs to India. We used to have a rule of the roost, and now it's our turn to shut up, get put in our place, and listen to the UN. Like, that has been the feeling our whole lives as a society, as a civilization, and it weighs on us as individuals. Why would anyone dream big? Why would anyone have dreams, aspirations, if this is our country? What's the end game? Go and get some office job, see a movie, go on vacation, wait to be replaced by Indians and Hispanics and Chinese people and Muslims. And here we are in the 2020s, and you sort of raise your eyebrow. You go, oh, what's that over there? America's getting bigger? Colonialism isn't over. We can actually just do things. We can kidnap a dictator. We can take Greenland. America's growing again. There's a spirit of revival. There's a spirit of growth. There's a spirit of adventure. There's a sense of confidence, taking what we want, doing what is in our best interest. We can stick up for ourselves. Our survival and prosperity matters. We can fight for it like every other nation does. We're in the fight still. We're still in the game. I like that feeling. I like the idea. Yeah, Greenland. Didn't know about it. Now it's ours. Never heard of it. Know nothing about it. It's the latest U.S. territory that our strong and powerful and respected president just annexed. Maybe I'll go there sometime. I don't know, because I can. I like that. I like that idea. I like that feeling. And even if, again, I think Trump is very incompetent. I think that, there's a lot of things he's not doing well. But I've always said that he really embodies, even if he is not the fulfillment of it, even if he is an imperfect instantiation, he embodies something powerful. He's tapping into something powerful. A strong leader, American revanchism, self-confidence on the world stage. It's not something I think that we have a lot of opportunities to get. You know, this doesn't come around a lot, and I think we're getting less of it all the time. So I do embrace it. There's something really remarkable, especially where we came from, because I think it's very important that I grew up in the Obama years. Like, my childhood was in the Obama years. And so as a very young boy, you grow up with the Iraq war being a disaster. We're in the recession. And the idea is that America is the bad guy. We're the evil empire. We're criminals. Our leaders lied us into a war. We're just a big, corrupt, stupid country. I think about that Jeff Daniels monologue from the newsroom. That was like, oh my gosh, that was like the viral clip of my childhood. That clip from Jeff Daniels in the newsroom where he says, when you say America's the #1 country in the world, I don't know what you're talking about. The only thing America leads the world in is people in prison, military spending, and people that believe in angels. And many of the Jews on the left made us feel this way. They made us feel like Jon Stewart made us feel like dumb fuckistan. He made us feel like we're a big country of dumb Christians and corrupt politicians that went to war for oil, and we're the bad guys. We terrorize everybody. We're the real invaders. We are now the evil empire. And then Obama comes in with all these other smart-ass liberals, and they were telling our country, your time is over. America's not exceptional. America's not great. The Monroe Doctrine is over. We have to ask the UN. We're ready to bow to every other country. We're ready to bow to the president of Cuba. We're ready to bow to the whole world and just surrender everywhere. So compared to where we came from to where we are now, we have a president that's flipping people off, and they call him daddy in Europe, and he's pulling dictators out of bed and throwing them in jail. He wants to invade Greenland. I love it. I have to be honest with you. I love it. I don't like bombing Iran. I think that's a bad idea. And I don't think the mass deportations are happening enough. But the energy, this is the real last thing I'm going to say. So here's the trick. We have to get in the middle of these feelings. What do I mean by this? Trump is phase 1. Trump breaks down the door, shatters the Overton window. He makes it possible. He is 1.0. He is the John the Baptist figure. He wakes everybody up, defeats the media, political correctness. But he does not complete the mission. He does not fulfill the aspirational promise of MAGA and America first. But he lights the fire. He sparks the embers. How do you get in the middle? The question is about succession. We're fighting for control of the narrative about Trump. And there's a few narratives. One, Trump is a sellout, a con man, a failure. He was always a con man. He was always a failure. He was compromised along the way. We throw his legacy in the garbage. It's nothing. That's one narrative. The other narrative in the middle, well, you know, Trump is doing a really great job, and we got to keep America great. We got to vote for J.D. Vance, his vice president. You know, Trump started it, and we got to keep it going. Trump is the greatest president, and we got to keep the winning coming. And we got to keep these moderate solutions going. Narrative number 3. Trump has the right idea. America first, make America great again, saying Merry Christmas again. These are powerful ideas. But they're ideas that cannot be fully realized in one presidential term, in one decade, by one man. He started the fight, but he was limited by the circumstances of his time. We're frustrated with the lack of progress. We're frustrated with how he was sabotaged, subverted, in some ways perhaps compromised. But we have to build upon his legacy. We have to take the torch, the true inheritors of America first, and deepen it, expand it, carry it forward. We have to get more radical, not less. We have to be right-wing progressives. We have to take it further than Trump did. Trump says, I want to deport the illegal gang members. I say take away the naturalization of people that have no allegiance to the country.
Fucking A. Yes.
Trump says, we'll administer Venezuela. Appoint a viceroy. Take the oil. Restrain Israel. Forget about bombing Iran. Restrain Israel. Trump is going to cut down waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, eliminate entire departments, entire agencies, build new ones, build new systems, new agencies, new departments. Have to take it further, have to go harder. And the reason why the latter is the best is because if you go and tell everybody, hey, the last 10 years was all terrible, it's very demoralizing. It also puts you at odds with a lot of people that did fight and sacrifice for this very big and successful political movement.
They're not forever cucked.
Whatever you want to say about it, Trump...
That's like saying Germany was forever cucked before World War II, bro. Like, a peoples can take control of their country. It's as simple as gathering. It's as simple as assembling. If we all assembled and marched through the streets, what are they going to do? Murder us all? Their whole country? Their whole fucking peoples that produce I mean, come on, dude.
Something won these two huge elections with 60 million, 70 million voters. And there's a lot of people that are emotionally, professionally,
people are over
personally
the fucking
invested
guilt
in
in
it.
white people.
And
We're
to
done
turn
with
around
that.
and say, oh, it's all bad, it's all awful, it's all a mistake.
This is our country.
It puts you at odds with those people. It makes it as
And if we're not willing to ship these motherfuckers home and take our shit back, then it's not ours. We don't deserve it. If we're not willing to die for it, if we're not willing to defend it, it's not ours. We don't deserve it then. Because that's our argument with us throwing the Indians off. You can only call what's yours what you can defend. And we can defend this place. We just need the will to do so.
We're in vain. It's very demoralizing. And I also think it's just wrong. I don't think that everything Trump did was a mistake. I think that on net, Trump is good. Defeating political correctness, getting people to think of America first, changing the conversation on immigration. 10 years ago, nobody was talking about mass deportations. Nobody was even talking about like building a border wall. It just wasn't there. Now, that's where the new
you think that
right-wing
we're stuck with the
consensus
melting
is.
pot?
Build a wall,
You don't
mass
think we can change
deportations,
that?
not good enough.
Dude,
Restrict
we can
legal
vote
immigration.
to burn the Constitution.
So-
This is democracy.
So I also just think it's wrong. On net, there's many good things about Trumpism. It's just that like with any movement, it is subject to constraints, limitations, political realities. And so our job is to take the baton and carry it forward and really just be inspired by that energy. That is so much of the battle. Is just waking up and believing that we can do the impossible.
Trump
and that
isn't
means
going to
dreaming.
fix anything for us.
It's very important to dream big, dreaming of an American empire. It's important to imagine what we want. And what I don't want is like some wholesome Chungus republic. No, we're not living and fighting and dying so that you can work in a nail factory like your grandpap did and marry some, Midwestern mid and have a couple of kids out on the... Like, no, that's actually not aspirational. So many of these people, the heritage Americans, they say, there's plenty of cheap property in like rural Indiana. And if you work at the nail factory that's polluting the river, you can buy a $100,000 2-bedroom shanty and find some gas station mid, or better yet, you could run a Subway franchise. And it's like, we want a Roman Empire in space. That gets people excited. This does not running a Subway franchise does not get people excited. So it's important to dream. It's important to think big. It's important to understand that, we need people to really, the power of belief cannot be
You don't think we could enlist black
overstated
people
here.
to help us? This is
So
their
anyway.
country too. Do you think they
So
like
that's that. But I do
all
wanna
these
move
other
on.
brown people edging in
a
on
look at
their
our super
benefits,
chats.
nah. They
That's
would go.
my take
They
on
would go to
Greenland.
war with us. They would
But
cleanse
let's
the
see.
shit out
We'll
of this
see
country
what you guys have to
with
say
us.
about all this. I'm going to get set up here, and we'll listen in. I don't know how anybody doesn't relate to that. I guess it's a generational thing.
We can do that.
Because I noticed that when I was supporting
eventually
the
it's gonna
intervention
burn.
in Venezuela, it was
forever.
all like Gen X people that were like, duh, we can't go to war. But all the Zoomers loved it. All the Zoomers on Instagram and TikTok, they love it.
Dude,
it's the Gen Xers that are like, hey, bro, this is like the Iraq War. Millennials and Xers, they don't get it.
People starting to realize
take a look at the
we can control our destiny. You know, nothing is set in stone. I mean, and honestly, I mean, things are we're going to get back to our roots. Put it that way.
Chats, let's see what you guys have to say about all this. We've got a lot of them. All right, let's see. Let me take a look here. Here we go.
John Porter sent $55. W. Alex Jones, offering his daughter for marriage to you, just the way it should be and the way it's always been up until recently. Imagine the kind of uproar the media would be in if you someday get into the White House and your wife was the child of the OG conspiracy theorist of the 21st century. It would fix the space-time continuum.
That was crazy. I think he was just trolling his daughter a little bit. I don't know, though. Hey, is that a serious offer? I'd consider it. Good stock, good genes. Look at Alex. Guy's like he's built like a bull. It's insane.
A lot of people don't realize this, but Mexicans fought alongside whites in World War II. They were considered white, bro. Blacks didn't fight in combat like that, but Mexicans did, because Mexicans have been here since we took Texas, California. They lived on that land before we got it. They absolutely have a right to be here. Some, the ones that were here when we got here, or when we got those parcels.
Muscle. He's a human weapon, so, and very smart, and just like a total maniac, bundle of energy. So, hey, I don't know. Is that a serious offer? Good stock. That'd be a very interesting political marriage. Could you imagine? Could you imagine an America First InfoWars marriage? The daughter of Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes. That would, so I didn't want to play too much into it, because if he's joking, that's creepy. I don't want to be creeping on his daughter if he's totally joking. But if he's kind of joking and kind of serious,
you're thinking of in terms of playing by the rules. Who the fuck says we have to play by the rules, bro?
So yeah, that was kind of funny though. No, but we love Alex. Great guy.
Bald Grow, I percent $25. He could read some books, was crazy. She's a Catholic and I doubt she's even read the Bible. Only book I've ever heard her talk about is Chaos.
Yeah, when she said that, I thought the same thing. I'm like, bro, you read one book, which is Chaos by, what is it, Tom O'Neill or something like that. I forget the guy's name. That's the only book I think she's ever read. I don't even think she read it. I don't think she can read.
Pugy Erection sent $20. Hey, Nick, I've just recently become interested in thinking. I've had some
trouble formulating some of my own ideas. Going to get sent home. Anybody who's not, who doesn't,
clear Candace has an inferiority complex
who doesn't have an American in their name.
/IQ debate broke her when she realized she might actually be low IQ after she thought she was a genius for discovering
an Indian family's been here for 3 generations, and they've married Indians all 3 generations, named their kids Indian names. They're going home. They can suck a dick.
She's very insecure about her intelligence as a black person, as a woman. And
you want democracy?
When I said that, I humiliated
build it in
her
India,
because I totally got the better of her in that exchange, and all her fans were clowning on her. I told her, Egypt is a different race than Africa.
Grab Congress. Duh.
And all the rest of it. So she just got completely outclassed. And I remind her all the time, like, you don't know anything. You thought the Russian Revolution happened in the 1870s. Like, you have no idea what you're talking about.
You're not thinking on a grand enough scale. You don't realize.
And I'm sure that hurt her feelings a lot. I'm sure it made her very insecure. So I don't think that's...
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
That's just true. That's just obviously the case.
Cuban Overlord said $50. America first, you filthy animals.
Yep,
Blunt sent $30.
absolutely.
Respect to Jay Webbin. Great
I'm not talking
black.
about killing
watching the
anybody.
hyphenated
I'm
heresy.
talking about
At
just
141
getting
and
the
58
fuck
seconds, they
out
exhort
of our
young men to not leave the
country.
Zionist church due to frustration with the theology, but to try better the church from within. Saying that with a straight face
Who's
as a
going to
Protestant
say,
with no
oh,
trace of
you're
self-awareness for
evil.
humanity. Man face
You
palming
sent
emoji.
those
Come
poor
home.
brown people back to their home with their families.
Did he say that? I didn't see that clip.
How
Look,
dare
I don't know
you?
the rules about
That's
being
so
Protestant. I
evil.
would just say if you're a Protestant,
go
become a
fuck
Catholic.
yourself.
You know,
This is our
if you're in a
shit.
Zionist Protestant church, leave and become Catholic.
They are here
would
at
be my
our fucking
recommendation.
pleasure.
Do you have
And
any
when
interest
it's
in
not
fans
at
and what
our
are your thoughts
pleasure
on people who
anymore,
are
we
new to
can
the hobby?
tell them to
Just
go
got my America
home.
First hat and have to say the
Go
quality
the
is
fuck
incredible.
home.
Nicest
We don't
hat
have
I
the
own.
luxury
Wow. Well, thank
of
you for the
feeding all you
endorsement. We
fucking
have the best.
parasites. Get out.
Ultramethylene blue. We have the best. America First hats. We have the best.
We're not doing so
Yes,
good.
the hats are made in America, super high quality. I love the InfoWars advertisements because every time I'm on the show, they're blasting in my ear, and it's like you're being brainwashed. It's like, so I memorized all of them. My favorite is
Back to India, you
my
go.
favorite InfoWars ad is the George Soros Macy's Day Parade.
These motherfuckers, they want democracy, but they want to cut the line. Instead of putting in they're paying their dues and making their country a democracy and you know, bringing that culture alive in the people, they just think they're going to jump the line and move to America. Nah, motherfucker. Nah, you're going to be a parasite on our good culture, on our good fucking principles. You know, because we can have a democracy without going to war every 4 years. And they want to benefit off of our good graces and our good politics. Nah, motherfucker. Go work for it on your own. Fix your own goddamn country. Quit trying to fucking shit on ours and damage ours. Fix your own. You've got a country. You've got an economy. You've got a place where everyone looks just like you. No shit, I have white privilege, bitch. This is a white country. Who the fuck do you think you are? If I was in India, would it be right of me to expect to have privilege over the Indias? No shit, white people are going to get the first dibs on the jobs. Motherfucker, you're a foreigner. Go back to India if you don't like it. If you want first dibs, then go back to India. Those are your choices. You know, you're here at our pleasure. And if it's not working out for us anymore, the deal's off. And we're not going to feel bad about it either.
Whoever makes that stuff is a genius. Whoever's making the InfoWars, what do they call those, like liners and other stuff? It's genius. But yeah, I love the testimonial. The hats are very high quality. Thoughts on cars? I think it's awesome. I wish I knew something about cars. I'm an idiot. I have no idea about cars at all.
We're going
I
to take
wish
their
I had a
suffrage
technical
away.
expertise.
They can't be trusted.
It never sticks.
Like they're crashing out in public. They're crying on X because guys are telling Grok to make pictures of them. And it's just every day there's some new grievance women have. And it's like, well, maybe public life isn't for you. Maybe you should go back to the kitchen. You know, maybe this is all just a little bit out of your league. Maybe you're just not, you don't pack the mental gear to deal with this, to have a job.
I'm not passionate about it. You know, when I was a little kid, I was really into science. And so I read about technology and I really wanted to be a doctor. So I read all about like medical stuff. Then I fell in love with politics, and honestly, I just can't retain any information. So I don't know anything about cars or machines. I wish I did because it's very cool and good. And I wish I did. It's awesome. And cars are awesome. And cars are like, that's the most American thing to have a car, I feel like. I know it's been said before, but the freedom in America is...
You guys don't realize how receptive the American population is to what I'm saying. We're not the only ones that feel this way. A lot of women feel this way too. You know, and if somebody just gets up and starts putting words to those feelings that those people have, they don't even realize that that this is what they think. They need somebody to tell them the vision. And they'll say, That's exactly what I've been fucking craving. That's exactly what I've been, hoping for or wanting.
Ability to just get in your car and go anywhere. We have this huge country, wide open, everything and anything you can think of, and you could just get in your car and just go. And there's something so beautiful about that. Get in your car, go, hit up a gas station. And the best is like you could drive for 30 hours.
Some days are over.
And you start in one place, end up in another, and it's like you could still go into a gas station and get a Coke. You could still stop into a diner and get a cheeseburger. You'd still go at 2 a.m. to a 24-hour diner, lit up, and get a cheeseburger and a milkshake. Like, that's America. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Amen.
I'm a huge believer in cars as a technology.
Never blink when bluffing sent $20. Why don't you mention the 2 mil self-deportations this year? Puts Trump on exact track to undo Biden's 10 mil. Also, your face looks slimmer. You used to have a cute chubby baby fat. Are the nips droopy?
Because that's not real. Why don't I ever mention it? Because it's not real. Let me tell you where that number comes from. They took the 600,000 deportations they have, which is 300,000 removals and 300,000 arrests. I hope you know that. They've arrested 300,000. They have removed 300,000. They're adding that number to the 1.4 million self-deportations. And they got that number from the American Community Survey, or I think it's the Family Survey. It is a mid-decade survey put out by the U.S. Census. So 2025 was halfway through the decade. They survey 65,000 households. 65,000. And from that survey, they determined that there were 1.5 million fewer illegal immigrants in the country, fewer foreign-born people with no residency. I forget exactly how they determined that. But of course, if Trump is elected and he says we're locking everybody up, be aware, ICE is deporting everybody, and you put out a survey and say, hey, are you an illegal immigrant? Do you think illegal immigrants are going to answer the survey and say, yeah, I'm an illegal immigrant, here's your survey back? Of course not. So you have a bias in the data.
Self-selection.
It's a small sample size, and there is a bias in the data. The people that are answering that call are not going to answer honestly, or they're not going to answer it at all if they're illegal. So, they're extrapolating this 1.6 million number from this small survey that they did, and there is a non-response bias in the data. So everybody's citing that. Federation for American Immigration Reform. What's the other one?
Because
CIS.
all these foreign people, they're not
Center for
suited
Immigration
to a
Studies.
democracy.
They're all citing this bullshit study. Dude, DHS doesn't even believe it. Okay? I can tell you for a fact, people in Homeland Security, they don't even believe that number. They know it's fucking bullshit. Homeland Security, they know it's horseshit. They're putting that out as propaganda because they want to reassure the base that they're doing more than they are. So the number that we need from DHS is the number of deportations. What number, you might ask? The number of deportations.
What a hard number.
Did you know that the federal government keeps track of every single deportation they carry out? They know the exact number to the single person.
They have to set
how
up
many
plane
people have
rides
been
and all
removed
kinds
by
of
ICE.
shit. Rid of them.
Do you know that there are reporting requirements for ICE? They have to put out a quarterly report and actually also weekly reports. How many people are deported? Do you know they have not put out those numbers since Trump got into office? Why do you think that is? Why do you think they have the number of deportations? They won't put it out. They're actually suppressing that information. They're hiding behind this bullshit number from the census that they don't even believe of self-deportations. Why do you think that is? It's because the number of deportations is low. It's too low, and they know it, and they know people won't be happy. So they say, well, we've deported 2 million. They're padding that. They're padding that. Like 75% of that is padded by some bullshit survey. They've extrapolated this number, has no basis in reality. That's why I never mention it. It's fake.
Burn looks at $100. Did you hear about Thomas Sewell and the National Socialist Network deciding to completely disband due to new Australian laws?
In public.
I did see that. I'm not surprised.
They don't have the culture.
Thank you for the big super chat. I'm not surprised at all.
Liberalism,
I told you that's the
dead.
direction it was going to go, and I don't believe in wearing costumes, LARPing as Nazis. And people don't seem to understand the difference. People always like to say, yeah, well, you talk about Hitler and you supported Kanye and blah, blah. There is all the difference in the world between appropriating Hitler for our political purposes, which is what we're doing, and cargo culting Hitler. You understand the difference?
Hitler is our avatar.
Cargo culting means we're going to dress like them, we're going to talk like them, we're going to act like them, and maybe we'll get the same outcome that they did. And that is just like a logical error. Like the Nazis didn't succeed because they wore black. They didn't succeed because they gave an angry speech. Like they succeeded because of the particular material conditions that existed at the time, which were very specific to Germany.
They were very scared. They had been stripped of everything in the war. They were scared that they had been put in a terrible position, just like we're in right now. And the first guy that offers us a vision that ameliorates that fear is going to be in there like swimwear.
Post-unification, in the interwar period, the peace that was imposed, certain, you could say, intrinsic attributes about the German world sense.
Dude, there are European Mexicans. There are a lot of Mexicans that have no Indian. And a lot of South Americans, too. Matter of fact, the European South Americans, they tend not to fuck the Indians. They tend to be like pure blood European.
This is some anti-German people say this, like, and other historians like A.J.P. Taylor, they say it was inevitable that the Germans would like National Socialism. And there are some people that say, well, if we dress like Hitler and if we act like Hitler, we'll be like Hitler. What we are doing is appropriating the narrative about Hitler for our present time. So Hitler is a bludgeon against anybody that's pro-white, Israel critical. And what we are doing is...
They've also torn down all the statues of the good white people that, had the liberal spirit. George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all of them. They tore down the statue. Well, you know whose statue they can't tear down? Hitler's. Never built statues to him. And it drives those motherfuckers nuts. They can't stand that guy. It's the one guy that you're not even supposed to, he's fucking Voldemort. You're not even supposed to speak his name. So it's like, yeah, we're picking that guy to be our fucking avatar. He drives you motherfucking assholes nuts, and there are no statues for you to fucking destroy.
Re-examining that, reframing it in that context and saying, well, why does the Holocaust matter for Americans in the 21st century? We're sort of delegitimizing the narrative they've built up around him. And we're saying, we're going to take the symbol of Hitler. We're going to take even the name Hitler. We're going to take all these things and we're going to pantomime them. We're going to throw them in your face. You don't want us to say it? We're going to say it. We're going to stretch it out and we're going to blow it up. And we're almost, going to become a parody of it. Nigga, Heil Hitler. It's like a ridiculous statement. A black guy saying, I'm a Nazi, I'm white, nigga, Heil Hitler. Don't you understand the contradiction? Nigga, Heil Hitler? It's a ridiculous statement. Hey, nigga, Heil Hitler. It's a ridiculous statement. And
it's a complete repudiation of everything since World War II. All the civil rights bullshit, all the fucking guilt tripping. When we take this guy as our avatar, it's saying, don't even try that bullshit because we don't give a fuck. That's why we picked this guy.
And to say something edgy and funny to break the taboo. And the taboo has been created to suppress
break the spell. Those
particular ideas, pro-white, Israel critical. That's the sacred cow. That's the religion. That is what is sacrosanct. Why is it important to do this? Because for so long, if you were ever pro-white or Israel critical, people say you're a Nazi. And this has extraordinary emotional power. Because when people hear Nazi, they think about, those poor...
the videos that they force you to watch.
That movie, that show. my experience at the museum, blah, blah. So when you're
Seriously.
called a Nazi and it has any kind of credibility, this has emotional weight with people and it turns people off. But if people start to say, Nazi, come on now.
Badasses.
Get real. Oh, that again? I don't know. It's kind of funny. You know, nigga Heil Hitler. Like, why are we still talking about
dressed really
this?
cool.
Well, now you've
Snappy dressers.
defanged one of their biggest weapons. That's the difference. So people say all the time, it's like in The Dark Knight. What makes you so special? Why do you get to do it? It's like, we're not marching around in costumes. We're not cargo culting. That's the difference. So anyway, yeah, the LARPing has to stop. But I appreciate the big super chat. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liquor Store sent $20. Nick Fuentes goes hard as fuck 2026.
Fuck yeah. Every day
Yankee
we go hard as
701
fuck.
sent $20. Sup, Nika. Love the show you did with Joel Webbin recently. Joel Webbin is super based.
Thanks. Yeah, I like Joel a lot. He's a good guy.
Average John 93 cent $50. Charlie Kirk just got 144 receiving yards on Monday Night Football against the Steelers. He won't stop fucking with that time machine.
I don't get that, but thanks.
Jimmy P sent $20. Should baseball bring back steroids? Nothing more American than a bunch of juiced up brothers socking 500-foot dingers.
No, I don't support steroids.
Chaldrich 94 sent $20. Merch for your groy pets? Aren't you a bit curious on your female following? Respectfully take more of my money, Plaza.
Not even in the slightest. I don't even want to know. I can't even imagine what type of
Not why
woman
he
would not
does
be
it.
offended. Because the show is for men. This show is for men. So I almost want, if I ever get married, I almost want my wife to not like the show, to be like, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe, because I feel like that's almost normal. The show is outrageous and it's like, it's a show for guys. This is how I talk when I'm with my friends. And it's for other guys to be like, fuck yeah, like that's relatable. It's not for women, because women are a different animal. When you talk to women, you talk to them differently.
Mm-hmm.
So the type of women that could watch the show, like, what's wrong with you? No, not actually, but like, why do you like the show? Like, what's up with that? Is that a pick-me thing? Is it because I'm handsome? No, but I'm kidding. I appreciate it. So no, I'm not. I feel like I don't want to know the answer to that question, what they're really like.
Average John 93 cent $50. Don't be too hard on the new red pillars. After you were banned, we were grateful to find you. We've been reading, learning, listening, and rejoining churches. You inspire people who don't have motion.
You know, and I'm really not hard on them. I'm hard on people who were red-pilled yesterday and then think they know everything. We welcome everybody in. If you're newly red-pilled, that's fine. But people come in and they're totally wrong because they just didn't put in the reps. They didn't put in the hours. They're a neophyte. They haven't been in this for a long time. And so they fall into a lot of common traps. And then they want to start gatekeeping. And it's like, okay, so I don't really have a problem if you.
There are Portuguese people that are direct descendants of Southern Civil War veterans that speak a dialect of English that's like a branch of the Southern dialect that they spoke in the Civil War. They live in like Brazil and shit. Okay, so there are a lot of Europeans in South America. Matter of fact, Rita Hayworth was fucking Mexican, bro. She's literally considered one of the hottest fucking movie stars, bar none, of all time.
Disagree with me, you know, you're wrong about something, you're mistaken. But people have a fraction of the knowledge. They haven't been doing this a long time. And then they want to crown themselves as the authority and say, well, now I am the standard and I am the gatekeeper. And if you don't agree with me, you're on the other team. It's like, well, you just got here yesterday, so I don't really think you're in a position to do that.
Red Heifer sent $20. Now that you're rich, have you repaid that girl from college for pizza and Cheesecake Factory?
No, because she got a black boyfriend, so absolutely not.
Absolutely
No,
not.
never. I feel bad. I mean, she was a nice girl. Well, I don't know. She wasn't that nice. Kind of
European.
made it better, actually.
That's a great peoples too. They had an empire and they were amazing sailors, amazing merchants. They wheeled and dealed. I mean, they were like as successful as the Spanish Empire.
You know, I don't know if she's watching or she'd ever see this, but she was cute. She was cute and she was nice, but you know what? She was just too crazy. She had like this crazy look in her eyes, which was kind of hot. And she was kind of like, you know, I'll say this much. She was a little bit loopy in a way that was kind of attractive.
That is
like, I'll never forget.
Happens.
I was in my dorm sleeping, and she was pounding on the door, and she woke me up, and I was like trying to fall back asleep, and then she wakes me up. She's in the room, yelling at me. I'm like, how the fuck did you get in here? My roommate let her in.
Ooh.
I'm like, why would you do this?
Like
but you know, that
in.
kind of persistence.
Who does that?
Kind of turned me on. I can't lie. It was kind of attractive. So I forget that happened. So it was so long ago. But yeah, she would take us out to eat. We go to T. Anthony's, we go to Tasty Burger, we go to Cheesecake Factory, and this was big. She was like my sugar mommy because I was broke. She was loaded. Her parents were loaded. Loaded. They were from I don't want to give out all her information, but like her parents were loaded. And so she got this big allowance. She was taking us out all the time. Me and my buddy. That I don't want to dox everybody involved, but
That's your ex.
But she would take me out, take me and my friend out, and we would get T. Anthony's mozzarella stick pizza. The last day I was in Boston, just me and her went to Legal Seafood at the Prudential Center. She took us to Cheesecake Factory, and she bought us cheesecake to take home. And I was broke as a joke. I had no money. I was hungry. Like I was literally a hungry ass nigga. And she was buying us food. It was insane. And she kind of had a crush on me. But here's the thing. You know what she was always doing? And this is how she kind of psyched me out. She was always saying like, I have multiple boyfriends and this and that. And that's why I was kind of like, I'm never going to date you, because she kind of gave off the vibe that she was like, that she got around a lot. But she was cute enough. She was buying us food. She was persistent. So I was like, fuck it. Another round of cheesecakes. He might have hit it.
I wouldn't say if I...
But yeah, then we got in like a big fight a year after college. She treated me like shit. I saw her. I hadn't seen her in a long time. She was really mean to me. And then she got this black boyfriend. I was like, just forget it after that.
Mud shark.
Absolutely not. So, no, I'm not going to pay her back. She was a little nutty. And that's just what happens. But, yeah, just another Bronx tale from the good old days. Yeah.
We are Wolves 927 sent $20. Nick, my father passed away on January 4th, and everything you said about calling your parents is true. I used to call him every day, and now I miss those calls. He was a fan of yours and enjoyed your show.
Gotta call your...
Wow, well, I'm sorry to hear that. But God bless.
That's what
I'm glad
makes
he
us
loved the
American.
show. Sounds like a family of Groypers, but I'm really sorry to hear that, man.
Brandon 06 sent $20. How can you be anti-capital punishment when you say Renee Good things is a good thing? It is justified, but that doesn't make it good.
Because we're in a war. I view that as a casualty of war. She is a terrorist, and now she's dead.
They don't fit into our
I sent $20. Why didn't
they self-segregate and keep it like Somalians.
Christ is king.
That's why they're not Americans.
Yeah,
that's
I don't
why
want to
nobody
burst
will miss
anybody's
them,
bubble,
send
but
them home.
that is like the total when you factor in like the gypsies and everybody else that Hitler killed. For those that don't know, they say that Hitler killed 12 million in total, but like 6 million in the Jewish Holocaust. I don't want to like... Everybody's saying, wait, since when did it get up to 12 million? But I believe that is the figure of like Hitler's total casualties in the genocide, the official number. So that's what he meant by that.
Goystead sent $25. What can be done to disincentivize domestic companies from using overseas labor? I work in e-commerce and have to deal with Indians a lot.
If we stop giving out all the goodies, all the welfare, if we just turn the spigot off, can you imagine how many are going to go home just because they have to work for a living? All the Somalians are going to leave as soon as the spigot gets turned off. They're going to be like, fuck this. Why would I want to live in this freezing ass place with all these douchebag white people? Believe me, when we fucking clamp down, half of them are going to go home on their own accord.
It's a miserable experience for everyone from the merchants to the customers, but companies can't pass up the cheap labor.
I love Orson.
Tariffs. Put tariffs on everything.
Their Elmock sent $200. Appreciate all you do. Right, I wanted to ask, how can we put America first if American society is completely governed by Israeli
Your attention, if you please.
Okay. So that is most of what this show is about every single day, and it has been for 10 years. So if you want my longer answer to that question, that's kind of the purpose and message of this show. But I appreciate the big super chat. How can we put America first if there's like these other people that want to put it last? So America first implies the existence of America last, and it sort of implies that America is currently being put last. It's sort of the whole point of what I'm doing and why I do it.
Clotho sent $20.
Thank you,
I
though.
believe in the gas chambers because Nazis also herded villagers into barns to burn them in one stroke, so it's the same tactic as gas chambers, but they used what was at hand.
Okay.
The last revolutionary sent $20. I know it wasn't your main point, but feminists have completely dominated men with the word pedo. They took what was natural male sexuality for all human history and conflated it with child fucking to shame men away from it and artificially increase the sexual value of hags. How old was Mary again when God impregnated her?
Dude, brother, so true. So true.
Truly.
That is
Preach,
so absolutely
preach.
true.
They like want
And
to force
listen,
us.
you niggas
to
are not
have to
ready
get
for
with the
that
hag.
conversation, but Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile. But you're not ready for that conversation. All of his victims, 14 to 17. That's not pedophilia.
Right? Motherfucking
But y'all
Juliet
niggas
was
ain't
like
ready
a
for that
13-year-old.
conversation.
Yeah.
People say that's normalizing pedophilia. No, that's defining pedophilia.
Really, what's normalizing pedophilia is all these women fucking literally having every fucking hair waxed off of their body. That's some fucking weird shit. Like women. I kind of like mature women, you know, that have hair. Because only immature little girls are fucking bald. Like, it's weird, man.
Pedophilia is sex with children. Children are people that are before the age of sexual maturity.
Pubescent.
Now, you can have your opinion and your taste and your ethics and your morals, but after the age of 14, that is past the point of sexual maturity, just period, biologically. And all of these feminists and all of their accomplices, the simps, they all want to say there's only two genders. They want to talk about reproduction and genitals. Okay, let's talk about reproduction and genitals. When do men and women reach the age of sexual maturity? It ain't 18. It isn't 20. I've seen women say a 20-year-old girl is a literal child. No, sorry, she's not even a figurative child, let alone a literal child. Do you know what canon law in the Catholic Church says? It says the minimum age to get married is 14 for women, 16 for men. That's the canon law of the Catholic Church. So you want to pull rank on me with morality? I would take you there. And by the way, that's how it was for thousands and thousands
People,
and thousands of years.
a lot of times didn't live beyond fucking
Do you know when age of consent
25,
became a thing? Like 30
20.
years ago. That is a second wave feminist artifact. But you people are not ready for that. Because ultimately, feminism is the matrix.
It is.
And that is how women have browbeaten men with this, you know, pedo, rapist, misogynist, all these words to prop up women's rights. That's ultimately what it's about.
Them days are
It's about women completing high school and going to college. That's what it is.
That shit's dumb.
You know, the only reason, and let me tell you this, I'm not in favor of like everybody go have sex with 14-year-olds. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the only reason that people are so horrified when people talk about like 16 and 17 not really being immoral, it's because we have a culture of casual sex and pornography and hookups
if people were
and
getting
prostitution.
married, wouldn't be.
That's why.
You know Loretta Lynn, the famous country music singer? She got married at 14. I think she had her first kid at like 15. And her husband was like 19 and just back from World War II. I mean, and that was just like 50, 60 years ago.
Why is it considered completely depraved at age 17 and a half versus 18? Because we hate the idea of young, vulnerable girls being preyed upon by strange men, by pimps, by pornographers. That's why it is abhorrent. Because there is something true about that. If you are grooming a child into sex, if you're, or I should say a teenager, if you're grooming a teenager into sex, if you're grooming a teenager into prostitution, pornography, that is especially wicked. because teenage girls are vulnerable. Teenage girls arguably cannot make those decisions. But that is only because we live in a society where that kind of predation is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it starts to make sense. When women say a 19-year-old is a child. Well, no, a 19-year-old isn't a child.
They fought wars.
A 19-year-old teenage girl might be just as susceptible to grooming as a 17-year-old. That's why it seems arbitrary. A 19-year-old teenage girl, an 18-year-old teenage girl might be just as susceptible to manipulation and grooming as a 17.
We used to live in small towns where your parents knew every other boy in town. So even if he was 20 and you were 14, they were okay with that because they knew his parents. They grew up with his parents. They knew him. That shit was acceptable because, you know, they weren't family, but it may as well have been. They lived in a little teeny secluded town with only so many people. It's just what we live in now is the radical exception in human history. Never, ever have humans lived like this.
Or 16-year-old girl by a man who only wants sex from her without marrying her. By a man that wants to pimp her out, that wants, whatever. All these things that are happening in our society. So what are we really talking about? What we're talking about is women being taken advantage of.
Indeed.
And we're saying that it is especially heinous when a younger, more vulnerable girl is taken advantage of. Consent is not, I don't think that's really a real thing. I think that's like a feminist construct. And these like legal limits, I think that's very arbitrary. What we're talking about is younger girls that are sexually mature being taken advantage of. But take that up with a society that doesn't value marriage.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. In the old days, girls would get married at 16. And I think far fewer people would object to that. Some people still might.
Well, what it is we've traded traditional cultural norms and sexual norms for this anything goes feminist bullshit. But when you have the anything goes stuff, you have to have all these ridiculous rules and laws, to enforce things. Whereas, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, people got married at 14. There weren't laws against it because you got married before you had sex.
Girls would get married at 15, 16, 17. But you recognize that that's different. If they're in a marriage where they're being provided for,
somebody's taking responsibility.
Kids, they're going to become a mother. They're going to build a life with a man who's going to love them. That's different.
Absolutely acceptable.
Than the society we have today. And the only reason you need age of consent is because we have a society that's built on the pill. We have a society that's built on birth control. We have a society that's built on abortion, pornography increasingly, all these other things. And so now when we think of like sex and women, we think, oh my gosh, make the age of consent 21.
That's why men
Because why would we want an 18-year-old girl
girls.
To have her 18th birthday and then get on OnlyFans? It's insane. Why would we want a girl to turn 18 and be able to become an escort? Or sleep with any and every guy in college? It's gross. But that's only because we hate the idea of women being taken advantage of. But you know what? Women can be taken advantage of at any age because women are emotional, trusting, more so than men. Women are easier to manipulate, and younger women easier than more mature women.
Sex means
and
a lot
that's
more.
really the issue. So don't take it up with, people love to say pedophilia. That's really the wrong lens. No, actually, that's not pedophilia. And I think that there is such a hysteria about that and obsession with that on the right. And I think, like everything else, it defines down what a heinous crime pedophilia really is and what a perversion it really is. And I'm not like raising a flag for child marriage or something, but I'm saying let's just get our history straight and let's start to understand sexual immorality. Let's start to understand some of these sexual issues. Why do you think we are such a sexually dysfunctional society?
We don't have those cultures.
It's because men and women become sexually mature and active years before they're even supposed to consider getting married. You're setting them up for failure. Men and women are able to have sex, and by that I mean reproduce, want to have sex far earlier, years earlier. And we're telling them it's not even lawful to do that for years, and don't even consider doing it licitly until way after that. What's the average or median age couples get married in the United States? It's like 28. Does that make any fucking sense? So if a man and a woman reach the age of sexual maturity in their teens, we're telling them you have to wait 10 years?
Yeah,
and what, they're going to be chased that whole time? What are they going to do for those 10 years? When are women most fertile? It's not at 28, I'll tell you that much. And we wonder why we have a fertility crisis. We wonder why we have all kinds of other sexual dysfunction. And that is the uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to talk about. That is second wave feminism all day long. That is all this bodily autonomy, all of that is basically first and second wave feminism.
They've deprived
because if you go to the
of our historically honorable and necessary position in our culture and our society as the heads of households, the breadwinners, the sheepdog that the men that take care of their families. They've robbed us of that. They've taken our birthright, the pursuit of happiness. They've taken those jobs that were once meant for men, positions of authority and corporations, and now they're all run by women. And we've been robbed of that, and women, they won't marry down. And they would rather die alone with a cat than marry down. Whereas men, if you give men a living, give them money, they will marry somebody in a lower economic status. They will start a family and they will flourish. But no, they've taken us out of the equation, and now our birthrate's fucked because of it. Well, believe me, if we stopped giving men's jobs away to women, the birth rate would jump back, guaranteed.
World, if you go to Europe, it ain't like that. And if you go to the Catholic Church, it's not like that. If you go to the history in Europe and basically every other society, it isn't like that. And people say, well, you just really want a child bride. I really don't. Okay. When I get married, it's not going to be to a 15-year-old. It'll probably be to somebody that's in their 20s, honestly. That being said, I am a tireless defender of the truth. And, a lot of people don't like this. It's an unpopular take, but it is the truth. So, and that is a feminist issue. So, and people don't even realize they're peddling feminism when they say this. That's a literal child. Oh my God. It's like, no, it's actually not a literal
all the
child
shit that's
at all.
Ruining America.
You can say that they're vulnerable. You could say that they should be protected, and I would agree with you. You could say it's particularly heinous that a teenage girl is trafficked and groomed. Absolutely. It is downright evil, millstone and everything. I'm in absolute agreement with you. It is particularly heinous because they're more corruptible.
They used to get married young.
You could say, well, it's still illegal, and I agree with you there too.
Increasingly,
but when people say it's
getting
pedophilia, it's a child,
they're ending up with no
as
one.
if there's no distinction. Well, that just fucking isn't true at all. And it's creating hysteria. And you know what? I also think it's hurting society in general. I feel like, and I'll just say as a guy, you feel like society is becoming so paranoid because of this obsession with pedophilia. How can you really have a family-based society if every guy is terrified of being called a pedophile or a rapist? And that's kind of the society that we live in.
Every guy's terrified of
Don't you think?
Branded as an
I mean, and
person.
I don't think I'm the first one to say this either, but we really cannot have a society that has any kind of communal fabric or anything like that if every man lives in a constant state of terror that they will be accused of being a rapist, of being a pedophile. How can you have a society where, like,
because
there's many generations
and they
of
fucking
people.
deprived us of the ability to have a family and to be fathers. They forced us to be fucking single men, basically. And now they're like, oh, what do? We have all these single men that are upset with their with the current paradigm. It's like, well, this is your fault. You fucking you just cut us out of polite society. And what, you just think we're gonna take that laying down? Fuck out of here.
All living among each other, all over the place. You can't even talk about these issues. People are terrified. People are terrified to even say it. It dare not say it out loud. People are terrified because of, this hysterical stuff that goes on. And then people wonder why we're such an anti-life society. It's because we are puritanical about this kind of stuff.
Everybody matters but the straight white male. You notice that?
About this stuff. And now we have a society where when and where is sex supposed to occur? I guess it's supposed to happen after college or something. When everybody's ready to settle down. After women have gone to high school and gone to college, and they're all having sex anyway and hooking up, and women are being liberated.
Well, and they tell their daughters, the time and place for that is college.
So no, we have to deconstruct all of feminism, not just, oh, well, you're a blue-haired raging feminist. Okay, you're a woman with a talk show screeching about pedophilia and misogyny and all, how are you literally any different? But this is why Western civilization is dying. Every decadent civilization that gives itself over to feminist women dies. And I think it dies because it becomes impossible to fight against. And the reason nobody wants to fight against it, because if you're a man and you go against the matriarchy, the gynocracy, you are ostracized.
So nobody wants to do it.
Nobody wants to upset their wife, girlfriend, daughter, prospective partner. Nobody wants to offend. Nobody wants to offend their friend's wife, because women are the gatekeepers of society.
Playing this bullshit
and so then nobody wants to say it.
This no-win game.
But
fuck you.
I'm already that guy. So I'll say it. So yeah, look, Epstein, baller ass nigga. And look, yeah, okay, criminal. But when people say, oh, he's this pedophile, satanic. Candace Owens put out this tweet. She said he was given triplets. That is a fabrication. That was made up by Virginia Giuffre.
And even if they did have the time to have kids, you would be the fucking beta cuck of the relationship. The woman is going to wear the pants. She's not going to respect you, and she's going to leave you once the kids are old enough. That's just how it goes. My brother made that fucking devil's deal. Me and my little brother just waiting for the fucking shoe to drop on him. I feel bad for him.
A serial fabulist who makes up a ton of shit, not a reliable person at all. It just isn't true. But you're a fucking dumbass who believes everything you hear on the internet. No, Virginia Giuffre, not everything she said is true. What was proven in court is that the victims were between the ages of 14 and 17. Yeah, that is evil. Don't get me wrong. It's absolutely evil. Grooming vulnerable girls from broken homes who are younger than they should be into prostitution. It's like one of the most evil things. I never for a second defended it. I didn't say it wasn't evil or criminal. I said, but it's not ritualistic, pedophilic, satanic abuse.
They're not.
It's a different category. And the reason you even make the distinction is because one has to do with magic. One is they're sacrificing infants to Baal to drink their blood for adrenochrome because they're just that sick. Another is why are they looking for underage girls? For blackmail, obviously. Why are they scouting out the youngest girls?
They're trying to change things politically. They're trying to influence.
Because it's barely illegal. Why does that matter? So that they pass. So that you can trick people. So that you can blackmail them. That is the purpose.
Yep.
So people say, you're defending it. I'm not defending it. It's still evil. It's still heinous. For all the reasons you think. But the reason you draw a distinction is because the kind of abuse that was occurring is bound up with the purpose of it. Why were they selected from that cohort? Why were there none younger than 14? Why were the majority of them in that age bracket?
If America isn't expressly for the flourishing of straight white men, over all else, the benefiting of them over all else, then what is it for? Like, it because it starts with the straight white man. That's how the family starts. He's the provider of this, that, and the other. And without him, like half the good parts of the family are gone. And you just produce shitty citizens, I mean, it's awful. And it starts with what they did when they threw us out. And really, it was white boomers that did it to virtue signal. Oh, I'm woke. I won't hire any more white people. Like I was saying in another stream, the writers in Hollywood in 2010 were 50% white. Today, they are 11%, my dudes. They are supposed to be writing the stories that we want to see, or that we want, that we want to spend money on. And they won't even let us fucking write them. They won't let us have anything to do with them, and they expect us to fucking buy them. It's like, there wasn't even a man within 10 miles of the fucking writer's room when these movies were written. Of course, men don't want to see that bullshit. In our industries, they used to make shit for us. They didn't make stuff for the Chinese market and have to fucking cut shit out of movies like Star Wars so the Chinese will buy it. Hollywood used to make movies just for Americans. And not only that, but remember how all the characters would be white with like, they put face paint on to be, black. Not only was it, the industry was to make art for us, but it was also for our express benefit. It also only employed white men. Like our industries used to only make stuff for us and only concern themselves with us, and then only employ us. It was a benefit all around. Well, now it's changed. They don't make movies for us anymore, and they don't employ us in movies anymore. And, everything's falling apart because of that. Well, things are going to change. This shit cannot stand. We're just going to take it back. And if you think I'm wrong, I mean, human nature is human nature. We're getting a raw ass deal. And this country can't stand without us. If somebody wants to pick a fight with us, if white men say, yeah, we're not fucking going and fighting for this piece of shit country that hates us, we're not doing it. We don't go fight. Like 70% of combat casualties of all time are white men. And if we just say, yo, this fucking country isn't serving us anymore, when it starts serving us and considering us and employing us and allowing us to occupy positions of authority, yeah, we're not going to fight for it. We'll let the motherfucker burn down. Fuck all of you. You're going to collect all of the shit that is rightfully ours, rightfully belongs to us. And these cocksuckers are fucking handing it out to everyone else. Yeah, you fucking, hey, you dance with the devil, fuck around and find out. They've played this game. They're fixing to get burned. They're fixing to get the horns. Because, hey, we're watching Nick Fuentes, my dudes. And that ain't because we're fucking happy. That ain't because we're content and just, ready to just ride out our rest of our lives chilling. Nah, man, it ain't going down like that.
Because it was a blackmail ring. If you can find girls that are on the cusp of being legal, you can get someone on Lolita Express to have sex with them, record it, and then blackmail them. Because that's what Epstein was, and that's the point. Which I said yesterday, and I said the night before.
America is a better place
not to get it twisted and get hysterical
when it's concerned with white men.
The claims about Epstein,
all these other men, they have their own fucking countries to concern them. Their own communities concern themselves with Indian men, with Somalian men, with, African men. The white community is the only community that cares about everyone else except their own suffering men. They want to give the jobs to everyone else but their own. And if our own community isn't willing to privilege us, benefit us, put us first, that's a serious problem. That is a serious problem. And, we're just going to have to correct it. The boomers are on their way out, and they're the ones that have been doing this. When we're in the driver's seat and the millennials are in the driver's seat, and the Gen Xers are in the driver's seat, man, I'm telling you, man alive, shit is going to change, bro. because they don't like this shit either. And they all have kids, and they don't want their kid. They see what they've done to us. They see what they have done to us. The other white men that are older, that aren't boomers, didn't go through all the propaganda, bro. And even the women feel this way because they have sons and they have daughters that they want to marry successful white men. And that shit can't happen when you are just straight up, unapologetically disadvantaging that group. We're saying, you know what? Everybody else, benefits from the government. We're going to help you out. We're going to give you grants to start businesses, this and that. But for you white men over there, radical individualism. That's it, man. You got to figure it out on your own. No help from us. Sorry. Because when I was fucking 18, I looked into getting a farm, like a grant for a farm. Or I looked into like 10 different things. Dude, if you were any other demographic, you could get buku money for any startup you wanted to do. But if you were a white man, not a single fucking dollar could you draw on from this government. It was fucking criminal. And it's going to change.
Crazier. He was given triplets.
Absolutely. Why do you think I'm doing this stream?
Blah.
Why do you think I'm streaming?
Ritualistic satanic
You guys are ready
abuse.
for the message. We're ready for this.
No,
and we're right.
One person claimed
we have a
that.
just
She's a serial
claim
liar
on this shit. It is
she made
our
tens
birthright.
of millions of dollars in settlements. None of that has been proven.
Absolutely.
What was proven in court why Jeffrey Epstein was
10
charged
years
and
from now, when the
convicted
boomers are gone,
based on interviews with
it's
hundreds
going to be
of
like
people,
the wild fucking West, man.
is that the age bracket was 14 to 17. They're filming everything because you're running a blackmail ring. And so it's important to understand what you're talking about. It's not to say that it isn't bad, evil, predatory. Obviously it is.
When white men get together with a purpose, yeah, that's how empires started, my niggas. That is how empires have traditionally started. When white men with a goal or a will or a purpose start gathering together, they fucking start empires and rule the fucking world, basically.
As no one would suggest otherwise. But women, man, oh man.
And they've just pissed us off
so
enough. Pissed
touchy
us off
about
enough.
that subject. And why do you think it is? Because women are vulnerable. And so they're very sensitive about any subject like that. And so as a result, they try to
they were propagandized.
Attack everything. Everything is rape and pedophilia.
And they didn't know struggle. They were given all the good shit, all the benefits of America that we were due, that were ours. They were given all those things that they denied to us. So they think the world is just fucking peachy keen. As soon as they're out, though, shit is going to change, man. It's going to change.
So how are young men supposed to get along in this day and age? You know? It's crazy. Because the amount of hysteria about abuse, think about how abuse has been redefined. If a guy is like, if a guy is shitty to his wife, he's an emotional abuser.
Jeez. I can't even fucking believe that it's still open. Like, that kind of blows my mind. Here. It up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just the wrong way to frame
Sexy
it.
and Unique sent $100. I'm very pleased that the first time I ever branded your live stream was a few days ago, and you read my username out at the end and said that sounds like an interesting person. I am. Come find out.
Bullshit.
Okay, relax. I appreciate the big super chat. Let's relax. That's crazy. Come find out. Holy. Chill out.
Really anybody in here still? Sorry about the fucking technical difficulties today, man. I feel embarrassed. Some fucking bullshit. Did me dirty as fuck.
You would see 1 million.
Overplayed sent $25. If the power grid does go out nationwide in the US, critical infrastructures do as well. My question is, should I prepare? On your word, I'll buy 10K worth of long-term food and water. P.S. Buy SPY puts for Monday. Markets are rigged.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just
Yeah, why can't jump back? Crazy. Ow, no.
If we don't
what he's looking for. He's looking for.
Difficult. Like, fuck. I can't get the fucking. Okay, here we go. It wouldn't pull up.
pedophilia and ephebophilia. Let's held captive. He goes, well, we're saying bad things about women. Let's say some bad things about the guys too.
No,
I'm like, brother.
Man, you guys stuck it out.
Cooked, not gonna make it.
I feel so bad.
Dude,
oh
realize we're joking about women. We're like,
No
yeah,
joke.
you're a crazy broad. Just treat her like she's 5 years old. And then it quickly turned into, okay, let's say something bad about the guys. Let's be fair. Guys suck too. Let's say something bad about the guys. Right, honey?
I mean,
and I was like, cooked. Not gonna make it. I'm joking. I love Alex, but like, dude, I feel like if I had a wife, it would be like that. If I had a wife, I could never differentiate between pedophilia and ephebophilia because she would divorce my ass.
Laptop.
If I did a show and I was like, Jeffrey Epstein wasn't technically a pedophile, she's going to be like, you really need to stop this or I'm going to leave you.
I mean, y'all could see that, right?
I couldn't go on the show and make jokes about kicking women's asses. I
There's
couldn't go on,
like
the,
30
on the
minutes
show
left.
and make jokes about fucking all different kinds of women.
I actually have another
I couldn't do it.
AT&T router in the other room. I'm just going to
then I
double
would
up
get an
from
earful.
now on.
You know,
backup.
I'd be like, babe, what's the problem? Nothing. Nothing's the matter. Fix your dinner yourself. Oh, you think women should get their asses kicked? Well, you can make your own dinner. And then, you know, I can't like.
I appreciate y'all sticking around.
You realize
man.
I cannot
shut my computer off twice.
I could not possibly live with that in my life. So I do
started
get worried
another
about
stream
that.
too.
I do get concerned that if I marry a woman, I become captive in my own home, and you know, then everything is a negotiation, even your whole career. Do you really think that's a good idea? For you to say that stuff? It's like, brother. So I don't know, man. Anyway, well, we'll see. We'll see about all that. Where's the e-girls? Bring them forth.
Bring on the e-girls.
Bring them forth.
Bring the sluts.
But they gotta be. Is there an e-girl out there that's super hot? But here's the thing. People will say, oh, someone like the Groypats. But here's the problem. No shade. But if I marry or date a Groypat, it's like there's a clout differential. We need to lower the clout differential. It can't be just like, you know, a Disney Fast Pass to become E-famous. You know,
there's literally another 40 minutes left.
Equal yokes.
Like, that's crazy.
I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here, guys.
I'm here for it.
Working through a problem. I'm working through a difficult problem. I'm getting older. Everyone reminds me of it always. It's getting to be that time, isn't it? So we'll see. Yeah. But hey, if Alex Jones, if he's got one, hey, let's do it.
Brother up with a like and
Let's make it happen.
subscribe.
Holy Roman Caliphate Roy
Like
percent $20.
anyway.
You should check out the
And if it's a joke, then I'm totally kidding.
Holy Roman Caliphate Roy percent $20.
just
You should
a
check out the
joke.
Tyler Oliveira new doc on Hasidic community taking thousands in welfare and not working. I'm sure Con Incorporated will all get behind this one too, and Elon Musk will repost it like when the Somalis were exposed for looting Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like that's whataboutism in its own way. You know, is it really comparable? If they find out that the Jews are stealing billions in that way, I mean, I don't think they're really doing it in that way. They steal billions with the Israel lobby.
Yeah.
So,
The Somalians
to
do
say,
it
oh, what about the Hasidic
politically.
community?
They do it politically, where they all patronize each other's businesses and cover for each other, bring their kids in, so it looks like they are doing this as a group and consciously doing it as a group and covering each other's tracks. They see us as just the straight up marks, and they're the grifters, and it's a whole of community thing. Like, they're willing to vote along those lines, threaten politicians, turn entire towns into fake businesses. I mean, it's a pretty low down thing to do. They're all committing crimes. That's how shitty their culture is.
Really on the same scale as the Somalians in terms of welfare fraud? I don't think it is.
Yeah. They don't want to work.
Note setting up the chairs sent $25.
God
Hi, Nick.
forbid they have
Recently
to
started
work.
watching your show last summer consistently. I used to watch Sean Ryan's pod more before I found your show. Seems he dodges having you on but talks about you a lot. Talked about you with his episode with Nick Shirley. Wondering what your thoughts on him and his show are? Thanks for all you do.
When we shut
I don't
off
really know
the
anything
spigot,
about him.
they'll go home.
So I don't have a strong opinion. He seems cool.
Seriously, dude sent $21.
They will go
Appreciate
home.
the kind words you said yesterday about Minnesota, before the Karen and Afro invasion. A state that once gave the middle finger to the system with Jesse Ventura, before he was a cuck. We used to be based.
I remember
God
when
bless.
he was governor.
Yeah, true.
LTN Icarus sent $20. Hello, Nick. Been a fan for a while now and appreciate what you've
After
done for
Predator.
America. This is why I ask you now to consolidate our position. Now is the time to forge alliances and, if nothing else, add numbers to the movement. We're at our best when they don't see us coming.
No, dummy. It's totally the opposite. It's
Yeah, we
completely
kind of
the
want
opposite.
the political
We need to shed.
might.
Actually, there's too many.
Dio Tony 81 sent $20. Great show as always, and a special happy birthday shout out to my mom. America first. God
Hey,
bless.
happy birthday, Mom. We love the moms.
96
Thank
sent
you.
$30. Thanks for everything. Nick. God bless you. Brother.
Thank you.
Sigma Goon Hawk sent
Appreciate it.
$30. Do you think military service is a
They
good
do
starting point for a
appreciate
political
you
career?
guys, so-
If so, which branch?
It's a
By the
great
way,
start.
sticking
I have no
around.
idea what's probably
Testament to you guys is
the most elite position you
hardcoreness.
could get. I think the Navy's good. I think the Marines are good. But honestly, I have no idea. I'm not the right person to ask.
Yarl Belgruff 2 sent $20. I know everyone was annoyed about you not starting on time last year. Thankful for the earlier shows. Moai emoji.
Well, I appreciate that you appreciate it.
Never Meet Your Heroes sent $20. You say the Epstein operation with children was not really pedophilia. How do you characterize pedophilia? A 27 years old having sex with a 13 years old is pedophilia?
Well, we just answered that actually, didn't we?
Yeah,
if the
it was
victims
like a
were age
20-minute
14 to 17,
diatribe.
no, that's not pedophilia. I would characterize it as prepubescent.
I mean,
So
and
13 and younger.
even
Pragmatic Culture sent $20.
no matter what, there's a gray area in the law. Like, isn't it guys can be with 16 and 17-year-olds as long as they're as long as they're under 21. I mean, I'm right. I think I'm right in
Thanks
that.
for starting the show earlier than
There's
usual.
a lot
Oh,
of
you
gray
got it.
area
Sexy
when
Angelique
it
sent
comes
$50.
to
5 feet 4 inches, 100 pounds fit, petite, fat ass for my
age.
proportions. Second gen American with Irish Catholic ancestors and family that still lives in Ireland. Only flaw is my father was a Navy SEAL chief. Interested or not?
Shut
How
up,
old?
bitch.
That's
Navy
fat ass
SEAL
for my
chief.
proportions. Honestly, that's kind of First of all, they never say the age. You notice that?
Yeah,
They're
'cause
given every dimension.
the old ones are
Ass
the ones
dimensions,
fucking
no
throwing
age. That's
themselves
the
at-
telltale. Well, how old though? You can't say 5'4",
already know.
100 pounds fit. The second gen. Well, we're missing one other quantity there. I think you know which one I'm talking about. How old? 1, 2. You know, if you're throwing it out there on the internet, hey, I have a fat ass. I don't know. I mean, that's
throwing it
amazing. I don't know
out.
if that's the best thing to say.
Just S0 Mess Space Cowboy sent $20. Eurotard spent all their defense budget on healthcare, so yes, we are the only ones who can defend it.
And you say it like it's a technicality. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's true.
Killdozer sent $50. Stories started surfacing in 2012 about a giant spaceship.
Fuck off and die.
Wonder Pets Patriots sent
Kill
$25.
yourself.
In the event of a successful
Fuck off and die.
Wonder Pets Patriots sent
Kill
$25.
yourself.
In the event of a successful Iranian revolution, would
Immediately.
Israel's next move be immediate escalation, like their bombing campaign against Syria after Assad fell?
What? Oh yeah, definitely. They would definitely destroy all of Iran's weapons, but they would destroy Iran's weapons first, probably. It's just kind of like a goofy question.
Monkey Boy 696 sent $20. Is swimming with your shirt on a Catholic thing, or is it just you?
I don't know who made that up. I've been swimming with my shirt off, and you know what happened? Everyone called me fat on my fucking birthday.
Huh.
Okay? Can you believe that? She said I wasn't funny enough. Can you believe that? You know what happened? I went swimming with my friends on my birthday, and they all called me fat. Can you believe it? So, no. But here's the thing. Being rich is about getting fat and not caring. You know, you get on the boat that you paid for, and then you just say it loud, say it proud. Yeah, I like to eat, okay? I'm not here to impress all of you anymore after this humiliation. Now I don't even care. Yeah, on my birthday of all days, that's okay. That's one of those things that's like, that's one of your Joker moments in life.
Hamby PG sent $20.
So I don't know who started that rumor. I don't know which would be worse, being made fun of having your shirt on or being made fun of for taking your shirt off. Everyone calls you fat.
Hamby PG sent $20. You bring back the beard and Candace comes crawling back. The
Technical
ascension is real.
difficulties.
Dude, that is so
bullshit.
true. I leaned out, lean is law. I grew the beard out. And then all of a sudden, Candace comes crawling back. Hey, Nick, you're this, you're that. Hey, trying to get my attention. Bro, looks maxing is real. The black pill is real. Take my advice.
Testicular torsion growth.
Candace couldn't give a shit about me when I was 10 pounds overweight. Leaned out, grew the beard. Now she can't get enough of me.
Testicular torsion grow. I percent $20. Last night I had a dream there was a huge spider crawling on a hallway wall. I was nervous, but then you appeared to scoop it up and place it.
Okay,
Kids were sent $50.
care.
Have you noticed the obsession Chuds have with Japan? They glaze them nonstop while the Japs don't even know they exist. It's like when Indians simp for Israel even though Jews think of them as cattle.
Everybody likes Japan.
Have I No,
What a
I've
jerk
never
off.
noticed that before.
Ditto had sent $20. Major props and thanks for being so prompt and on time with the shows this week. Year of the lock-in. Also, Alex cracked me the fuck up earlier today with his little joke. Nick Fuentes live on Rumble whenever he feels like it.
He loves to throw a little barb in there. He loves to throw it in there just a little bit. No, but that's why we love. Well, that's called chemistry. That's called rapport.
Yeah, that's how guys treat each other.
Striving.
Truly.
No, but we love Uncle Alex. He's the cook. Yeah, I love that. He's live on Rumble whenever he feels like it.
Yeah.
I love to imagine that he's in the lobby like, when the fuck is the show gonna go live? It's fucking ridiculous. You kidding me? I love to imagine that he's in the lobby getting progressively more pissed off. I'm trying to start earlier for you, King. For the
Sexy
goat.
and Unique sent $20. I woke up for work today and was scrolling on Twitter, X, before getting ready, and I saw her tweets and you replying in real time, which was hilarious. The ghetto bitch is seething. Smiley face emoji. Smiley face emoji.
She is
smiley
a
face
ghetto
emoji.
bitch,
Smiley
isn't
face
she?
emoji. Love you, Nick.
I didn't know this about Candace Owens, but she said that she lived with her boyfriend when she was 14. Like, bro, she is
That's
ghetto
trashy
bitch.
as fuck, bro.
That's why she's self-conscious.
That's
It's
so
like, look,
trashy.
she objectively won in life.
And that English
She
guy
objectively
married her.
won.
What a cuck,
No one can take that
bro.
away from her.
What a fucking
She
cuck.
married rich. She married a British rich guy.
He
She's a huge
married
podcaster. You don't need to be seething that you're from the ghetto anymore. You don't have anything to prove. Get the chip off your shoulder. Act like you've been there before. This is some real advice from a man.
He married her for
from a
social
wise man in your
capital.
life.
Now
Get
people
rid of the
can't
chip
call
on your
us
shoulder. You got
racist.
nothing to prove to anybody.
I married a black woman.
You won in life. You don't need to be insecure that you're from the ghetto.
Weebs and Dweebs sent
Okay.
$20. Candace saw you talking about Ray Valentina and couldn't handle the idea of you having another black woman in your
Dude,
life.
that is literally so true. I leaned out, I grew the beard, I started flirting with another black woman, and then immediately Candace was on the case. No fucking joke. Am I making this up? Am I exaggerating? Am I memeing? Is this a joke?
You're kind of jocking your own
I
nuts
leaned
a
out,
little
I
bit.
grew the beard. I literally started flirting with another black woman, and boom, Candace Owens is
Mud-sharking.
on my case, tweeting at me, doing shows about me, crying about me, like clockwork. Predictable like clockwork.
And you're proud of this? You got a Negress.
That's something. It's like
Like
magic.
you?
Pickup artistry is real. Okay, the black pill is
Really?
real. Learn it. Use it
I didn't realize
in your life. Okay,
black women were so
learn
coveted.
it, live it,
Sought after.
use it in your life.
Yavin 410 sent $20. Just saw in the Baltimore Sun MD leaders are proposing defying ICE in favor of only deporting violent criminals. Meanwhile, speed tickets, camera fines for natives. Guess it's really like that. Nick W.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Michael Kidby sent $100. I mean, do we need to ask about the Egyptian planes? Where are they, Candace? I want to roam my American buffalo.
What? I don't even understand that. Thank you for the big super chat, though. I appreciate it. Oh, Egyptian planes. I didn't read it. I heard it.
Yeah.
Egyptian planes. I want to roam my. That's kind of a weak joke. You want to put buffalo on the plains of Egypt? Doesn't even make sense. That's a dumb joke. But it's a dumb homophone joke. But I appreciate the big super chat homophone joke. Really.
Don't take
well
that. Jew
done.
Gold sent $30. So yes, we all understand Owens is well poisoning. Let her know he appeared to me in a dream as well. She's not special.
Charlie Kirk did.
That's funny.
Charlie Kirkenuanly. Well, he's been appearing everywhere. When they said that Tyler Robinson created 1 million Charlie Kirks, I didn't think they meant that literally you would see 1 million Charlie Kirks everywhere,
1
like his face
million.
everywhere.
Overplayed sent $25. If the power grid does go out nationwide in the U.S., critical infrastructures do as well. My question is, should I prepare? On your word, I'll buy 10K worth of long-term food and water. P.S. Buy SPY puts for Monday. Markets are rigged.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just do your own fucking decisions. Tell me what to buy. I can't tell you how to spend $10,000, dumbass. If you are comfortable with the risk, you know, or the risk of like a collapse. Otherwise, then buy it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, okay?
Cadet Space Command sent $20. Candace talks about Charlie Kirk like he's King Bun in 2012. Anyway, Space Force Nichols going hard as fucks.
Thanks.
Non-lethal Wigger Nuke sent $20. God rest his soul. But if Charlie was an X-Man, he chose the worst time to not use his superpowers.
Okay, that's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, when he was running down the street lights would flicker on and off. He was an indigo child. I don't know. Maybe the shooter was wearing the Magneto helmet. Tyler Robinson had on the helmet, so
Nobody could read
couldn't read his mind
Yeah.
or something. Couldn't read his mind. I don't know. The signal didn't get through. He was prevented from using his abilities.
Some kind of nature sent $50. I see you stunned all over by the poisonous flies, bleeding and torn at 100 spots. Innumerable are the small and pitiful ones. They would have blood from you. Blood is what bloodless souls crave.
Isn't that from Thus Spoke Zarathustra? Isn't that Nietzsche? Do I have that right?
Nietzsche.
So true. Such a hard quote. I can't lie. Thus Spoke Zarathustra, a lot of hard ass quotes
Yeah.
in that book.
Lee Morty sent $50.
He was
Did you see the rubber shark dinosaur in the Nene Go shooting?
exceptional mind.
Yeah,
Sure.
I thought that was AI.
So much so he went
I saw
mad.
that video and then I thought, oh shit, did I just post an AI video? And then I guess, is that real? I have no idea what that is.
Matt Kelly sent $50. Hey, I love your show. Quick question, how do I hide my views at work? I work for the Coast Guard and already got talked to for my views.
Don't talk.
Don't express them in an open and direct way. How do I not say my views openly? Conceal them. Do not talk about them.
Bravo 6 going darker sent $20. Don't lie, Nick. If Candace got divorced, you'd race mix.
Well, maybe I'd mix it up a little bit. Maybe mix it
Why?
up. I don't know that I would race mix. But
Yeah.
certainly we go
I
and
like
stir the pot a
blondes.
little bit. I don't
That's
know.
That's
don't know
how I
what-
stir the pot.
Ubay88 sent $20. When it comes to Candace,
Go
Nick
for
redeemed
women
from
that
back.
look the
You ain't got a lie to
opposite.
kick it home.
Okay, gross.
Yosef 1776 sent $50. We waste in the Blitzkrieg and she.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah.
Blitzkrieg.
I said that earlier. Who the
She
fuck
said it's a
says
strategy of
Blitzkrieg?
bombardment. I'm calling it Blitzkrieg because it's a bombardment.
It's actually a mechanized form
It's
of
actually
warfare.
shocking how stupid a person can be. You realize like some things, if people are dumb, they're just not going to know certain things. Nobody can know everything, but dumb people are not going to know certain things.
Well, what I've found is
You know what I mean?
things that I assumed everybody
she's
else
saying confidently, Blitzkrieg,
knew.
Blitzkrieg, and
or I just as a kid I always thought everybody thought the way I did, and everybody had the same idiosyncrasies, and only as I was an adult I realized how far from the norm I really am. Like, I used to read my history textbooks in the first 5 days of class. I would kill it every year, just read it straight through. and that's not normal. It took me till I was like 30
He said it's a strategy of bombardment. It's like
to realize I was
you got to think
not
her
the
white
same as everyone
producers are
else.
just like they're trying so hard. They're trying so hard. I'm sweating like Candace Owens producers watching her try to read. They
Or
gotta
fucking
know that
Officer
she's getting
Tatum
shit on for being
try to
stupid,
read.
mispronouncing words, not knowing the definition
That
of
guy
words.
didn't know.
And then they see her say, "Okay, mommy slews, I guess it's Blitzkrieg Monday, a strategy of bombardment." And they're like, "Holy fuck, she doesn't know anything about World War II.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything about that."
Well, black people, I
And
feel
you
like
would have to literally not know anything about World War II to not know what that is. Because why did France fall so quickly? Because of Blitzkrieg.
yeah, I kind of think though that black people, they kind of go out of their way not to learn about history that doesn't include them. Like they don't want to know about it.
Why? Because of their speed.
Yeah.
Because of their combined
They
arms,
did the pincer
tactics,
method.
and speed.
They would
And overcoming all of the defenses.
separate.
That's why.
They
And so
would
it's
cut a unit in half or an army in half. They would cut it into piecemeal, cut it into several smaller pieces by driving a wedge through it. And then they could, beat them one at a time. It was very revolutionary. We still
like
use those
101.
tactics
That's like A-push.
here in America
That's not
today.
even A-push. That's like remedial world history. Or I guess that'd be like AP global history, EU history. But that's like remedial history. That's like a vocab word on an 8th grade World War II test. What strategy, lightning warfare, allowed the Germans to overcome? Like, that's 101, man. And I remember a year ago, she did a show. She said the Russian Revolution was in the 1870s. Once again, I've said it before. If you think the Russian Revolution happened in the 1870s, it shows you have no idea, like, anything that was happening in that 100-year period. Because if you don't know that the Russian Revolution happened during World War I, how do you not know that? Or if you did, then it means you don't know when World War I took place. You see what I mean? Like, you can't not know one without not knowing the other. If you think the Russian Revolution happened in the 1870s, then you either don't know when
Holy
World War I
shit.
took place, or you don't know that the Russian Revolution happened during World War
Red
I.
October.
That's a big one.
Yeah, they had their revolution and then quit the war.
And you could spin that 100 different ways, If you can't place that, then you can't place a lot of things that were going on. So I heard that and I was like, wow, this person like literally knows nothing about anything. Doesn't know anything about World War II, doesn't know anything about, she's talking about the Soviet Union. You don't even know when it happened. You don't even know the timeline. You couldn't pin it in a 50-year timeline. 50-year time, you couldn't get the right fucking century. That'd be like saying World War II started in 1895. Like, what? It's crazy. So anyway.
Nordic Germanic Blood sent $25. You don't need a high IQ to complete university. Just have to work harder than someone with an above average IQ. What is low in your opinion? The
not
average in
true.
Europe/North America is high 90s/low 100s.
Yeah, well,
That is totally false.
you
and
have to
idiotic.
think about it like this.
No, to get into a highly selective
Automatically, half of the population is below average. Is below average. By the law of averages, half are below average. So
actually have to get a
kinda
you actually
sad.
have to have a high
Sad
IQ
realization.
unless you're black. And the reason why is because of standardized testing, which is a good reference point for IQ. And
I was
GPA, because what does
gifted in
GPA
school.
prove? If you can complete tasks, which test different kinds of reasoning, different kinds of intelligence. If you can
I
get
have,
an A in English,
comprehension
and an A in
like
science,
he
and an A
does.
in math,
I used to
and an A in
ace
Spanish or whatever.
the standardized test. They called it
Yeah,
the
you're
FCAT
smart. So
in
no,
Florida.
it's not just about, well, you just have to work harder. No, that's absolutely not true. If that were the case, bro, so many people would be in highly selective schools.
IC 95 66.
Several of
$50.
those
Hey, from North
years,
Dakota. I'm an
I got
electrician,
perfect
and I've been hearing your
scores
voice more
on
and more
that
at job
shit.
sites now. It's great. Appreciate the
go.
love for the trades.
Hell
also,
yeah.
as a Vikings fan, fuck the Packers.
Fuck the Packers, bro. One struggle. One struggle. I never thought I'd be fighting alongside a Viking. How about a cheese grater? No, we can't keep up this charade. Fuck it. Bears are in the playoffs. I'm a Bears fan now. Bear down, bro.
The Bears.
But yeah, I love it. I've always said I like tradesmen. I like small business owners. It's the people always say, he hates the working class. Dude, 7-Eleven cashiers are not the working class, bro. And not that I hate all of them, but like...
They don't produce
a lot of them don't even speak English, bro.
They don't
And
produce.
they do not care. They do not give a shit.
Genocide kidnapper Mr. Potato Head represents $20. Now that the Kirk stuff has died down and Candace proved insane, there is still one weird thing about the shooting. How come they found Tyler Robinson so quickly when after the Boston bombing it took them 5+ days to catch Ryan Dawson?
Very funny. Well, he surrendered. Ryan Dawson is still on the loose for 9/11. They still haven't captured
Nordic
him.
Germanic Blood sent $25. I believe a low one is considered below 1 SD within 100.
Low IQ is like, I mean, it's all relative, of course. I think anything under 100 is low.
B sent $20. How do I hide my views? Barack Bush sent $20. What are your thoughts on William Spaniel, the Geopolitics YouTube channel, where he uses game theory to analyze decision-making? How well-grounded do you think his analysis is?
I don't know. I don't watch him.
Rooster sent $100. Candace response had me dead. Smiley face emoji. Great show as always.
Thank you. Appreciate the big super chat.
Nordic Germanic Blood sent $25. Apologies, sir, but history shows Northern Europeans have achieved greatness that eclipses what the Italians and Greeks accomplished. What have Mediterranean people done since the Bronze Age?
There'd be no Northern Europeans without us. Without Rome, just forget about it. And they never surpassed us. They never surpassed Rome. They never surpassed Greece.
What the fuck are you talking about? They
did
invented
did one among them surpass Plato and Aristotle?
And
absolutely not. Did one among them surpass the Roman Empire? Absolutely not.
Bro, they invented
Let's just
electricity and shit. Shut the
Female
fuck
gamers are out of
up.
Control. Ice Agent roleplay chatbot trending. Their primordial lust yearns to be made a handmaiden.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Joshua sent $20. This idiotic ACP attack that grow-wipers are all brown people is such an easily debunkable claim. All the grow-wiper influencers that are face doxed are white. Beardson, Tyler Russell, Wurzelwood and Paultown are all visibly Irish. 4-leaf clover emoji. Jimbo Zoomer has blonde hair. Even you are a brunette with green eyes. It's literally all projection.
Okay, but you have to literally not care. What the heck? You're calling us brown, but we're all white. What the... Like, dude, you're being defensive. You're getting your cortisol up. You just sound pressed.
Like fetching about Greenland sent $25. You're right on the military necessity of Greenland and the mineral resource acquisition, but there needs to be a spotlight put on elites. Bill Gates / Peter Thiel, who want an AI smart city similar to what they did W. Prospera. Tescriel / Zephyr / Poga / Prospera. We have American imperial interests, but so do these demon fucks.
I think we should build a city there. What's
Beardson
wrong with
sent
that?
$20. Let's not cope here. I'm probably the only white grower general. Jimbo is a Japanese Redditor, and that asshole Paultown needs to be put down like the dirty Polish dog he is.
Is that the real Beardson?
Michael Kidby sent $20.
What's up?
Nick, would you rather Golden Dome or Iron Dome after a date? Kristen sent $20. Why hasn't Candace checked where these Egyptian planes have gone after Kirk's death and if they are still following Erica? 8 for Snipper Kitty 43 sent $20. Hey Nick, turning 28 today and feel like an old ass grower now. My friends and father are finally getting black pilled to the truth. Thank you so much for your work.
Hey, happy birthday. Glad to hear it.
Boogly Woogly sent $20. A few Jew billionaires standing to benefit from the expansions into Venezuela and Greenland isn't reason enough to oppose the expansions. That's just leftoid trickery.
A few Jewish billionaires benefit of... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just the wrong way to frame
Sexy
it.
Angenique sent $100. I'm very pleased that the first time I ever bred into your live stream was a few days ago and you read my username out at the end and said that sounds like an interesting person. I am. Come find out.
I am. It just says,
relax.
I am.
I appreciate the big super chat. Let's relax. That's crazy. Come find out. Holy.
Women getting all wet.
Chill
Baller
out.
2025 sent $50. The pain that you feel from reading these super chats is only a fraction of the pain that we feel when we interact with these cattle. Would you drop the Jew hate if we got Ben Shapiro to say sorry? Sarah Palin's box sent $25. Next, your doubters will say the Germans were fighting wars for Israel when they invaded Poland, France, Belgium, Holland, Denmark, Norway.
It's funny how the
Greece,
Jews,
Slovakia,
when we're
Latvia,
talking
Lithuania,
to cattle,
Estonia,
it's like,
and Russia,
yeah,
but hey, these are the people
cattle,
Yeah,
who-
just
right.
like
Long live the United
you.
Empire of America.
Smart
Exactly.
ass.
Brandazzle sent $20.
Just like
so you're going to
you.
marry
You're
Alex
fucking
Jones' daughter,
human
huh?
too,
Breaking hearts out
dipshit.
here.
Perhaps.
Sexy Angenique sent $50.
Except
I made a
nobody
typo.
likes you.
I didn't mean to say Brad. I meant to say first time tuning into your live. Sorry, my Rumble app was glitching and it messed up my message. I'm embarrassed.
Oh, now she's posting the TikTok. I'm not going to let you post the TikTok app and self-promote. No way.
$25. People like Doomernet and the Hitler turd world are sound indistinguishable from ACP retards at this point. Imperialism is not the problem, pal. It's actually awesome.
Who? I don't know who those people
Silly Goose
are.
sent $25. Ever since it came out that Charlie Kirk is a Tesla coil, I've been feeling a lot more Kirky. We are Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk.
Antioch Requiem sent $200. Don't capitulate to the crowd. Keep on speaking the truth.
Hell yeah.
Love you, Nick.
Thank you for the big super chat.
JS sent $20.
Absolutely.
Did you see Candace grifting off your Epstein pedo take? She wants you nigga. He was still a pedo though. No hate.
Well, you're objectively wrong.
Anglo-Acadian sent $20. Make McKinley proud President Trump. Are the Greenland Inuit going to say no to joining the Inuit in Alaska and the all benefits to that or remain in the EU?
They don't really have a say in it.
Polly Exit sent $25. Following the Venezuelan operation, Canada's PM is meeting with the Chinese to replace lost U.S. trade. How do you anticipate the U.S. will prevent that relationship from growing?
I'll just put political pressure
Jimmy
on
sent
them.
$20. Neocon Nick kind of has a ring to it, not gonna lie. One of the greatest monologues of all time. Lead U.S.? Lead U.S.?
I love that.
AMF 1996 sent $20. I appreciate the way you speak about death. I tend to avoid thinking about it, but whether it be illnesses or encouraging people to call their moms, you always come off sincere and calming.
Well, it shouldn't be calming. I mean, like, it's horrifying and terrifying, and you should be afraid. You should not be calm. You should be terrified, and it should spur you into action. Death is horrifying. Like, death is not
bullshit.
good.
It's part of life.
You know, death is a pain of sin. We suffer death under the pain of sin.
Life is painful.
It's a penalty from sin. We're not supposed to die. We
get to
long
your
for
end of
eternal
your
life
life,
because we're supposed to have
You're
it.
not going to be like,
So,
I want to die. You're going to be
death is
like,
not
fuck,
good. Death
finally.
is evil. Death, disease, suffering, toil. It's all, well, arguably toil is like an obligation, but like these things are all evil. And that's why you don't have them in heaven. So, but you should be terrified of death.
Jimmy sent $20. Why doesn't any president bring back the gold standard? Wouldn't this fix inflation?
Great
Ishti sent
question.
$25.
Amazing.
Canadians are Americans as the Flemish are Dutch as Austrians are German. Why the fuck do I need a visa when my blood is closer to George Washington's than Donald Trump? We speak the same language. We come from the same European
Holy
nations.
LARP.
An AF president must unify the continent like Bismarck unified Germany. I wave the flag.
Holy fucking LARP. They're really not, though, because the difference is that Americans revolted. You guys didn't. That's why Canadians are pacified. Canadians are like super nice and
They're
chill,
cucks.
and they're like just hanging out. That's because their people submitted to the king.
Tamely.
Our country is explorers,
Tamely
pioneers, and
submitted.
conquerors. So no, I don't know if I agree with
Absolute
that.
testosterone sent $20. Wouldn't it be funny if Trump and Israel did all the heavy lifting now so AF could sweep in at the end and reap the golden platter? Haha, wouldn't that be funny? Haha.
That's like seething Chungus, seething Chudjack
Scalp
energy.
777 cent.
Well, what if Israel just like did all the work for us? Yeah, okay, keep coping, bitch.
Scalp 777 cent $50. We could put prisons in Greenland.
Yeah,
Carl Weezer 67 cent $20. I'm a Canadian and my ancestors have been so for 4 generations, considering getting dual citizenship with the U.S. because our country has gone down the drain in a handbasket. Praying for a 51st state.
They're all
Folded hands
Indians
emoji.
Yeah,
now.
A
hopefully
drunk
so.
6,969 cent $100.
They gave their
Something
shit
like-
away.
Hey, thanks for the big
Peter
super
Baker sent
chat.
$21. Hi.
That's cool
First
because
super
we're
chat.
just going to
Big
take
agree
it
with the
over
Nationals case with
eventually.
Greenland.
Send
I
them
work in
all
NS, so I've been
home.
monitoring the situation hard in the common lib/0 case against
We'll
says that
start
Trump is only trying
Canada's-
to break NATO because
this-
Putin tells him
the
to. Has to
second
let Reich
Reich
US
of
and Greenland like the US
Canada.
want China and South America.
That's funny.
SC Groy percent $50. Greenland should be our payoff for all the aid and involvement we poured into Ukraine. Honestly, we could just let Putin march through Europe. That would give a solid pretext to seize it, just like what happened during World War II. Why did we even hand it back to Denmark after they fell to the Nazis?
Okay, let's
Bro,
just
Hyperbool
stop the
sent
LARP,
$20.
though.
I want to marry a Russian girl. They respect their husbands more. Slick sent $20.
I don't know
Any
about
room in the
that.
movement for anti-Semitic Zionists? I firmly believe Yos have too much power and Judaism is satanic. Rabbis awaiting the Antichrist, and all that.
I
But they've been
second
through
the
a lot, and oddly
motion.
I don't mind them
Black
having their own
Viking.
nation. Imagine
No.
how many more would be in the U.S. if they didn't.
For real.
No, sorry.
America First Mexican sent $25. Nick Fuentes, you're my favorite Mexican American. Europeans made up roughly half the population at the time of American independence, yet the nation remained predominantly Christian, which shaped our identity. How can we realistically return to our Christian roots while honoring our country's established racial diversity? SC Groy percent $25. Also for the Marshall Plan investments. Time to cash in. Bink 1982
Yeah.
sent $50. Keeping you in prayer. Heavenly Father, protect Nicholas. Cover him with your divine
I've
shield. Keep
cheated
him safe from
death
harm.
probably
Surround him
like
with angels. Guide his steps with your
20
love.
times.
In Jesus' name. Amen.
I
Wow, thank you very
overdosed
much.
Sent
twice.
$20. Hey Nick, I'm a fellow Chicagoan and Christian. I am
Fucking
Protestant,
ruptured
however.
my
I just wanted to hear your thoughts on
twice,
faith and
punctured
salvation.
a lung.
And why should I convert to
one-
Catholicism if I even need
one
to?
of the times I ruptured.
Amazing. Google it.
Weightlifter Groy percent
I've
$20. Did you
survived
watch Marty Supreme, and if so, did you
so
fuck with it? Movies where the protagonist chases greatness are goated like Whiplash.
Near-death experience.
No, I didn't
Kinda-
see that, and I
kinda
don't really
crazy.
want to. I wanted it to do poorly at the box office because, I mean, like, Timothy Chalamet was doing too much. It's just not nonchalant. You know, the marketing campaign, the whole, like, I want to be one of the all-time greatest actors. It's like, I was like, yeah, I don't know if I fuck with this, actually. And it's so Jewish. Like, the movie was so extremely Jewish. So, no, I haven't seen it. And I watched Uncut Gems. That was too Jewish also.
Hell yeah.
It was an okay movie,
I did
but
not
just
like that
a little
movie.
bit too Jewish. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it when it comes on streaming.
Bethel 96
They
cent
shoved
$20.
their-
Your show has helped me realize how much of a
their
pushover I
culture
was.
down your
Being agreeable
throat.
didn't make my life easier. It made it worse. So thank you for showing me how to stand on business.
Great.
Serge Vos sent $20. Maybe the Minnesota ICE officer can get off scot-free by claiming he was an alien hunting a time traveler from the future. Huntercrat sent $20.
Yeah.
We must assemble the army. 1 Samuel 15:3 Go. Now, attack Amalek, and put under the ban everything he has. Do not spare him. Kill men and women, children and infants. Justin Groy percent $20. You have to do it. Imagine having Alex Jones as your father-in-law. Terpsy sent $20. Thoughts on Canada's PM sucking up to China?
That's crazy.
Bigger 1857 sent $500 to the Emperor.
Yo, thank you for the huge super chat. Whoa. 07's for Big Red. I appreciate all the support. God bless. Thank you so much.
Fran Apple 12 sent $20. Why does God permit evil? Zachariah Seed sent $20. I don't want to be a faggot and as a white South African nigga going hard as fuck. Just fucking conquer every fucking nation in the Western Hemisphere. 65+ trillion dollar economy, massive land mass. Never become majority white nigga do it rah. Eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji, eagle emoji. Imperial Socialist sent $25. Everyone go watch Tyler Russell on Kick after the show. Russellian's greater than Jugheads.
I thought he streamed in the morning.
Frenchman 59 sent $50. Thanks for all your hard work. God bless.
Thank you.
Vagina Rock sent $20. Nick, you know full well they are
Vagina
eliminating nation
Rock.
states to accommodate technocracy and globalism. Obtaining Greenland is not about expanding America as a nation. You are misleading. Seriously, repent.
Watch another show.
Dylan Lewandowski
Too
34 sent
stupid.
$20. What's your Portillo's
Like,
order?
bro, go
Don't
fuck
eat that.
yourself.
Open 1235 sent $20. Will be terrible
Who are
if
you to
SCOTUS
sit
decides to
and
take away
judge
your
of
powers.
anyone?
But they keep putting it off, so I'm thinking maybe they won't.
Yeah.
Callie Groy sent $25. Hey Nick, next time you're on a podcast, tell them that Democrats are the real racist. They have the bigotry of low expectations. Checkmate liberals.
Who is this for?
Chimp Lord AF sent $20. I love buffalo chicken. Lord of the Rings. And Texas Roadhouse. Fuck my stupid goy life. Nazy B. Graw
People just sound like
she was
fucking
17 years,
losers.
364 days, 23 hours, 59 seconds old, you sick fuck. Men with this mindset are closeted homosexuals.
Well, they're just cocks. That's just like such a cocked simp mentality.
I could be your grandma sent $20. Hello mister, you could be my grandson. Inquiring minds want to know, do you have photographic memory?
No, everybody says that. I just have good recall. I'm
Rashad
just
Bams from
smart.
ID sent $50. Can you call me the N-word for my birthday?
Very good.
I can't. Thank you, though.
Costanza Grow, I percent
Happy
$100.
birthday.
When are we getting the NJF Epstein style 1/4 zip?
I actually learned. I was talking full sentences at 8 months.
Who knows? Thank you for the big
Polly
super
Walnut Grow, I
chat.
percent $20. Love you Nick, but personally I don't like facial hair. I don't think it's good for looks maxing. Also keep
Okay.
an eye out for up and coming Wank Drake May hashtag rape Caleb Williams.
Right. Thanks for
Alex
telling
Pacheco
me.
sent $20. I know very little about politics, but I watch the show as a woman because I learn a lot. Also, the amount of knowledge and passion you have for this country is truly amusing and attractive. The show is just fun to watch because you're funny.
Oh, I thought you were a guy. I always thought you were a guy. Okay. Because I was always like, it's getting a little bit. Because I think this is the person who's always like, oh, I love you. I love your show. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, thanks. That's crazy.
American Psych 9021 sent $20. Nick, women like you won. Because your meanness turns us on too. Because you're hot in an unexplainable way.
Turns us
With
on.
Smash.
I don't even believe
Wisco
that.
Bro,
You're
I
just
percent
making
$20.
fun of me.
Zerka still gets slandered as a pedo even though a
I
17-year-old
don't
girl lied
even
about her age
believe
with a
that.
fake
You
ID.
just make-
The girls who do this are never held accountable, which proves your point that it's inherently
That's
feminist.
a great answer.
Who cares, dude?
Great
Imagine
answer.
doing that. It was a fake ID. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it was fake. You know? It was a fake ID. She like, why are you listening to what a woman says anyway? You know?
The Dark Goy sent $20. You've been investigated, deplatformed, and publicly associated with InfoWars. And yet you have avoided charges while others haven't. What do you think explains who gets prosecuted versus who stays media active?
Well, on January 6th, the people that got prosecuted were in the building. I was not in the building. People that trespassed,
Simple.
were violent, or were in a militia got charged. None of the above. And
Much of a loner.
as far as InfoWars, or I've publicly associated with them, what other charges are you talking about? Alex Jones didn't get charged. He got sued for defamation. And that was just a slap suit. I'm not sure who else you're talking about. Candace Owens didn't get charged. Tucker Carlson didn't get charged. Alex Jones didn't get charged. Charlie Kirk didn't get charged. When did Charlie Kirk ever get charged with anything, for that matter? When did those people even get fucking banned from anything? So that's just a stupid question.
Vagina Rock sent $20. Nick, what happened to you? Your soul.
Ugh, watch another show.
Shampoo 0024 sent $30. You're absolutely right,
Seriously.
Nick. This whole Epstein thing reminds me of when Cody Ko went to a house party and had sex with Tina Mongeau, and 10 years later we found out she was 17 and he got canceled.
I don't know anything about that.
Pandone Karaoke sent $20. We are Renee Good. We get shot in the face. Francesca Grady sent $22. Marry me? I'll love you while you tell me to shut up, bitch. Get in the kitchen and make me a sandwich.
Okay. Well,
Right.
how old? How old? How old? No, I'm kidding. But
Bill was on fucking
yeah, maybe.
Rogan
One of these
today.
days, maybe I'll just put out an application. Who knows? One of these days, maybe I'll just put out an application. I'll have like a panel of judges evaluate everybody, and then the top contestants will get to come on the show or something.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
JD
know.
sent
watch
$20.
Jackass
New AF
after
segment.
this.
Cheesecake Factory Girl
Later
versus
on.
Cadence Owens boxing match. Winner gets Nick. Loser has to fight the dude in Chicago who punches women.
That's kind of funny. I think the Cheesecake Girl would win.
Wang Muzzy sent $40. Muslim Groy per here. We support you, Nick, and disavow leftist
She was
garbage and talking points fed to us by
crazy.
Yos against whites. I believe America first and have been spreading the word. I'd like to propose an idea for your marriage pursuits. Maintain a trusted third party in all comms W'er, preferably a family member of hers. Autocorrect 67 cent
totally
$20.
insane.
Bro, I'll tell you right now you're going to end up with a Latina
Makes
mock my words.
sense. He's like, bring a
Track
girl
Road sent
with you.
$20. 25 years / O
when you're
female.
dating.
5 feet 0 inches tall.
Like your
Third generation
sister or
Cuban American and
something.
petite. Smash or pass.
Because they know women better than
25
and a lot of
Cuban. What are we doing?
ways.
What do we? No offense, we want white, and we got to go a little bit. I'm 27, okay. So 25, it's kind of pushing it a little bit.
little bit.
I'm thinking
She's
like,
been
let's
slutting
try like
around there
21.
for 7 years
You
now.
know, 21. Let's start over there.
Billy Williams sent $20. My girlfriend was lecturing me in the car about.
Start the bidding at 21.
Billy Williams sent $20. My girlfriend was lecturing me in the car about being racist, so I drove to the projects in Baton Rouge and yelled at her to get out of the car and left her there. She ended up at the hospital and now I feel bad, but I was getting called crazy names by her.
Wow, it's crazy.
Mitchell Cryer 32 sent $20.
Gotta
Thank
be
you, Nick, for
fake.
standing up for everyday Americans. Christ is king.
So true.
Luke sent
Thank
$30.
you.
Hey, Renee,
Yes.
you can't park there.
That's kind of funny. Hey, you can't park there.
Stone Grim Reaper sent
That's
$20.
funny.
5 feet 6 inches, 120, 25 4th Gen FL cracker. Ancestry immigrated pre-1900, also a welder. True American and in love with you.
Why are you all 25? And you're a welder, so what do you have, like giant muscles or something? I don't know. I don't know if I could see myself with a woman who's like putting on like that iron mask and then like with like a blowtorch or whatever. I don't know about all that. Seems a little masculine, don't you think? I don't know. Look, we're accepting all bids right now. Get your offers in now. We're accepting all offers. We'll review all the offers.
Conquer sent $20. You're overthinking it too much, King. There are gems out there. Don't kirk yourself with some CIA demon. You'll find plenty who don't know who you are. If you retard Max and she puts up with your shit, it's probably a good one. Little Europe or Maxing wouldn't hurt too.
Okay, don't need
Nordic
your
Germanic Blood
advice.
sent $25. How is normal IQ low?
Oh my God. Well, you're really proving
King
it.
of Wessex sent $20. Candace is a perfect example of why the Salem witch trials happened.
That is, dude, that is so true. Perfect candidate for witch burning. Perfect candidate.
Men's 1E sent $20. I tried telling my mom that Newsom and his Aryan family mocked Judge JD and his Jeet family to death. She told me that was racist. How do I convince her to be a grower mom? Rumble Mom 67 sent $25. Nick, I started watching your show last year and it's given me the strength to be unashamed. The other day I was walking down the street, and as I passed a black man, I instinctively clutched my purse. I felt bad afterwards, but then I realized why I felt bad. Because I knew he was not for sale, but I went for my purse anyway.
That reflex.
Very good. Sort
It's
of
honest.
a boomer joke, but that's okay. This is kind of funny.
Danny
It's a
Wang sent
pretty good
$20.
joke.
How do you feel about Country Club Right Wing? Would you ever make Wang Country Club merch?
No, I don't really like that.
Francesca Grady sent $25.
I'm a nigga, so I don't really like the country club aesthetic. I don't like prep. I don't like any preppy prep look because I am a nigger.
He's
Okay,
white and
because
he's
I'm a
ethnic.
nigga. So no, I was never allowed inside the country club. I went to the country club. They said, "Hey, clean those tables over there." It's like, I'm not here to clean tables.
Clean those tables up, Juan.
So
Paco.
as a nigga, I never liked the whole
Porfirio.
preppy aesthetic, the whole old money thing, because I come from these streets, bro. I come from the streets.
The gutter.
I am a nigga. I am an ethnic. I am a 4th, 5th generation ethnic. So I don't like the whole polo collar flipped up
That shit is
douchebag
gay.
thing. That's why I like the streetwear stuff, hoodies,
He always wears a hoodie.
workwear,
Always.
Carhartt jacket,
Like a little
combat stuff. I like that kind of look. I
Wee
don't
with
like
his
the whole
hood.
preppy old money thing, because I'm an insurgent
Francesca Grady sent $20.
from the lower classes, lower class depth groveler.
Francesca Grady sent $25. I am an e-girl, saving myself for you. I dream of you telling me to STFUB. DCH, get in the kitchen and make me a turkey and provolone sandwich. And would never question what you have to say. Full submission.
Okay.
That's what they
wow.
say, man. But
Good thing you didn't make it weird or anything, but I appreciate it. You're saving yourself just for me. Wow.
I believe that.
I don't know if I love the idea that you dream of telling me to or telling you to shut the fuck up. Girls like, I hope he tells me to
Consensual
shut the fuck up. It's like, I am actually normal, okay? Believe it or not, I am actually like a polite person. I'm not like a rageaholic.
Not a se-
Okay, I don't actually have. I'm a polite and respectful person. The worst you could say about me is I'm moody. But women are like, I hope he tells me to shut the fuck up and get in the kitchen. Like I'm gonna be like, all right, hey, bitch.
You fucking bitch. Would you fucking poison
Like
this
I'm
food,
gonna-
you cunt?
Like I'm gonna meet some girl for the first time and be like, hey, what's up, bitch? I feel like there's gonna be a huge disconnect between like the caricature, the like rape fantasies that women have, these like weird abuse fantasies that women have. They see me as this like Nazi caricature that's gonna like shove their face in the ground.
Creature.
And then they meet me in real life and I'm like, hi, nice to meet you. They think that I'm gonna pull up and be like, hey bitch, I'm an incel here to put you in your place. Hey, make me a sandwich, bitch.
Well, remember Your Body, My Choice?
That's not,
kinda what
okay.
it is.
I'm not a cartoon. Okay, I know you see the clips. I know. I know women are idiots, but like, no, I'm not actually like that in real life. I'm actually I'm a polite person, you dumb bitch. No, but that is a real problem. Lately I've been thinking about this. All my Groyper female fans, they have these like weird sexual fantasies. They see me as like the embodiment of like a toxic incel caricature. And so their fantasy is I'm like really like whatever that is. And then I feel like I'm going to be like, hey, so it's nice to meet you. And they're going to be like, ew, you're not like a
Chad.
You haven't called me a bitch once yet. You're like a cuck.
I have daddy issue.
You know,
Have daddy issues.
That's another reason I can't date a fan because you get shit like this where they're like, I'll submit to you. I can't wait for you to call me a fucking bitch. And it's like, who do you think I am? I'm actually a polite person. If I treat you like just a normal person, or if I treat you like a gentleman, are you gonna be mad?
Probably.
Too weird for me. Sorry, it's kind of creepy.
Savage Shane 605 sent $20 in Native American. Except my people tend to say you're on stolen land, but as I know we got conquered. Just proud that my people took Custer out. Pinched fingers emoji, USA emoji, Latin cross emoji.
Okay, that's kind of like cucked to say that.
I've ever known.
You should take pride in your ancestors, even if they
lost.
Laser sent $20. You've been right about every fucking thing. You and Alex working together is proof from my subjective view that this is a simulation. WAF. What do you get for dessert at the Cheesecake Factory?
I don't eat there. Okay, I ate there.
It's
that was good
like
eats when we were in Boston. I'm rich. I don't eat there anymore. Huh. It's garbage. Who eats at the Cheesecake Factory? Seriously? The last time I was at the Cheesecake Factory was at the Grove in L.A. with Jackson Hinkle. Because it was one of the only restaurants that was open at the Grove. And other than that, time before that was probably college. I don't like all those chains. All those chains suck. Just go to a good restaurant. I love to go to good restaurants. I can find good restaurants. I don't go to Cheesecake Factory. I don't go to Applebee's, Outback.
Yeah, I've never.
Texas Roadhouse. I don't do that stuff. So.
Or TGI.
I don't even remember.
Savior of Man sent $20. VP Asmongold collab when?
Yeah, imagine me, Vance, Asmongold.
Jerry Abebe sent $100. Woman here. Longtime viewer and agree 100% with your take on the Epstein victims. And LM Wu, nothing wrong with me. Happily married. Amazing career. No agenda.
Let's go!
Just always enjoyed watching you.
Thank you for the big super chat, an endorsement. Thank you very much. You know, but people aren't listening. People don't listen, you know. So I appreciate that you gave me the benefit of the doubt.
They know everything.
Open-minded. They didn't hear the whole tape.
Stone Grim Reaper sent $20. Maybe, but I make art.
Maybe what?
Nice Tie sent $20. 19F.
Oh.
5 feet 5 inches brunette, 125 pounds, Norwegian and French DNA.
I love the idea of French. I really like that.
French girls.
That might be a winner. We'll see.
Jim Bozolama sent $20. I think you should just prioritize getting the hottest like bitch you can find and stream it on Discord Farmer for content. Also, I'm going to knock Pearson down a peg. He is getting too cocky.
Yeah, he needs to be knocked down a peg. He is getting a little cocky.
The whole French.
Nick's got Rosie the Riveter and his team is lol. Let's get size 6 and below blondes with jugs only for my emperor.
Attractive.
Okay.
Sid 07 sent $100. 5 feet 3 inches, 112 pounds, 18 years Catholic fan. Italian and
because then I would get an earful. And what else? Your mom runs a Culver's franchise, and what else? Like, come on now. That almost sounds too good to be true. That sounds like a Mossad honeypot. These are all just fake.
Brenda
now.
Mori sent $20.
Now these
22
are all
years old,
just
5'2" and Italian German. Am I in contention? America first wanks.
See, now we're just making stuff up. Now we're in fantasy land.
Well, Italian German is understandable.
These
Austrian. The Austria and Italy are on the border.
These are all men that are making fun of me.
They're Italian.
$20. The cook from Nords is insane.
The Italian Alps. They look like Italians, but they wear German lederhosen.
So they hate us. At the end of the day, it's just
windmills
jealousy.
and shit.
Italians don't spend all day thinking about those Norwegians, those Germans. We don't care. They see about meds. Because we're the GOAT.
User Rod sent $50.
Of race.
Hi. My brother watches your show, and since I moved out for college, I started putting on your show to fall asleep. I'd glot about what you talk about, but the super chat voice sends me straight to sleep because it reminds me of home.
Wow.
Remember, if you were watching this, I miss you. 30.
Okay. Well, that's kind of touching. I appreciate that. That's sort of a touching sentiment. That's sort of wholesome. Thank you for that. Okay, that's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. You guys are getting crazy. That's getting a little out of hand.
Is it?
That's wild. But hey, I appreciate it. That's our last super chat. Remember to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm on the air Monday.
American intelligence suspects nothing. By sunrise, entire American units have been surrounded, cut off, annihilated. The Germans are outnumbered, outgunned, running out of fuel and ammunition. The war is clearly lost. So how did they do this?
What made them better
Here's
soldiers?
what American commanders discovered that terrified them. Man for man, the German soldier was more effective than the American soldier.
This is crazy
Not more
shit.
fanatical, not more brutal, more professionally dangerous. Even in total defeat at Berlin, surrounded and doomed, German defenders killed over 81,000 Soviet soldiers and destroyed nearly 2,000 tanks in 2 weeks.
They knew
American
they were dead.
veterans who fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam all said the same thing. The Germans were the hardest enemy they ever fought. Why? What you're about to discover explains why American casualties in Europe were so high, why battles that should have been easy victories turned into bloodbaths, and why the US military, after winning the war, adopted the German way of fighting as its own. But first, you need to understand something most people get wrong about how soldiers are made. Quick request before we dive in, drop a comment right now telling me where you're watching from. Last video, we had viewers from 50 countries and it blew my mind. Let's beat that record. And if you want the real history so hard, start with this question. When did German soldiers start training for war? If you said when they enlisted, you're wrong. They started at age 10. Let me show you how this worked. Starting in the mid-1930s, German boys were enrolled in Hitler Youth, not as propaganda victims, as future soldiers. By 1937, Hitler Youth had established rifle schools. By 1938, 1.5 million boys were trained in marksmanship. By 1939, the German High Command was directly supervising their military field exercises. Compare that to an American soldier in 1944. Age 19. 3 to 4 months of total training. Basic training, then specialty training, then deployment. But it wasn't just how long they trained. It was what they were trained to do when everything goes wrong. And that's where American soldiers discovered a problem they weren't prepared for. American training was built around a simple idea. Learn your role. Follow orders. Do what your sergeant tells you. Do what your officer commands. German training was built around a different question. What do you do when there's no one left to give orders? Let me show you how this played out in combat and why it got American soldiers killed. Picture this. An American infantry squad is advancing through a French village. Suddenly, machine gun fire erupts from a stone building 50 yards ahead. The squad dives for cover behind a low wall. The sergeant's heart is pounding. He's got 8 men pinned down. The machine gun has them locked in place. He does what he's been trained to do. He reaches for his radio. "Lieutenant, we've got a machine gun nest. 2nd floor window. What are your orders?" The lieutenant receives the call. He's 200 yards back, can't see the building, can't assess the situation, so he does what he's been trained to do. He radios the captain. "Sir, 3rd squad is pinned by machine gun fire, requesting orders." The captain pulls out his map, studies the grid coordinates, calculates fields of fire, makes a decision. He'll call in artillery support. Better to use firepower than risk casualties. He makes the call. Artillery command acknowledges. They calculate firing solutions, adjust coordinates, load shells. 15 minutes have passed since that first burst of machine gun fire. Now picture a different village, a different day, a German squad advancing through identical terrain. The same situation unfolds. Machine gun fire from a stone building. The squad takes cover. But the German sergeant doesn't reach for a radio. He's already scanning the building. Ground floor, 2nd floor, then he sees it. A basement window, half hidden behind overgrown weeds. Dark, undefended. He catches the eye of his 2 best soldiers. No words, just hand signals. You and you, around the left side. Basement window. I'll suppress. The 2 soldiers move immediately. No hesitation. They've trained for this. The sergeant opens fire on the 2nd floor window.
These were
keeps the machine gun crew's attention forward.
Stormtroopers.
30 seconds later, his 2 soldiers reach the basement window. One pulls a stick grenade, yanks the cord, counts 2 seconds, tosses it through the window. The explosion is muffled by stone walls. Then silence. 3 minutes have passed since that first burst of machine gun fire. 12 minutes. That's the difference between waiting for permission and acting on initiative. Between following a chain of command and trusting your sergeant to make the call. And here's what made it devastating.
I was thinking
that 12-minute gap didn't happen once. It happened
good
in every
Lord.
firefight, every ambush, every
Got lots of
unexpected contact. Those minutes accumulated. They turned into casualties. American soldiers waiting for orders while German soldiers were already flanking, already repositioning, already attacking. American commanders saw the pattern in after-action reports. German units with fewer men were holding against larger American forces. German squads were reacting faster, adapting quicker. At first, they didn't understand why. Then, they discovered the truth. This wasn't just a difference in training. This was something deeper. A complete philosophy of warfare that had been refined over generations. The Germans had a word for it. Auftragstaktik, mission tactics. And once you understand what that word really means, everything about German effectiveness makes sense. American officers told soldiers how to fight. German officers told soldiers what to accomplish. The difference sounds small.
It's a big difference.
In combat, it was everything. But there's a problem with this system.
You're not micromanaging.
It only works if your soldiers are already professionals when they arrive at the
They have
front.
to be bad motherfuckers.
And by 1944,
from the
most
jump.
German soldiers defending France weren't just trained professionals.
They were
They
hard.
were combat veterans of the most brutal battlefield in human history,
Soviet.
the Eastern Front. More people died there than in every other theater of World War II combined. Soldiers who survived Stalingrad, Kursk, Soviet offensives that attacked in waves overwhelming positions through sheer numbers. Winter combat, where frostbite killed as many as bullets, where tanks froze solid, where rifles jammed from ice. These men knew how
American
to fight when
soldiers were
everything
bad
goes
at.
wrong. Because on the
German
Eastern Front,
soldiers were
everything
too.
always went wrong. Average
They were
American
in
soldier
World War
landing at
One as
Normandy,
well.
never
Never
been
know.
shot at, never seen someone die. His first
Like, I was reading For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway, and he was an ambulance driver in World War One. And he said, because the Italians were on our side, so there was an Italian front, and they ranked the Germans #1 and the Austrians #2. They were both still extremely formidable, but the Austrians were, much easier to defeat than the Germans. The Germans had just had more battlefield resolve.
day of combat was D-Day. But here's what shocked American intelligence officers when they started analyzing battle reports. German effectiveness didn't decline when they started losing.
That's
In
crazy.
fact, in their final battles, surrounded and doomed, they became even more lethal.
That's their
Let me show you
kill
two examples
ratio
that
went
prove
up.
this. April 1945, Berlin.
Crazy.
The Red Army surrounds the city with 2.5 million soldiers, 6,250 tanks, 41,600 artillery pieces. The German defenders, maybe 100,000 soldiers, mostly old men
Americans
and
also
teenage
had
Hitler
better
youth.
equipment,
No air
better
support, no hope
food,
of reinforcement,
better
no
supply
chance of
lines.
survival. Everyone knew the war was over.
And they
Hitler would be dead
replaced
within weeks.
damaged
Germany would surrender within days. So why fight? In 2 weeks of desperate street fighting, those doomed German defenders killed 81,116 Soviet soldiers and destroyed
sink or swim thing. Either we get
1,997
our shit
Soviet
together,
tanks. That's the
or
German
we
army
go
in one
defunct.
statistic. Losing the war, winning individual battles. But Berlin shows German skill in defeat. Ternopil shows something darker. What happens when that professional skill is wasted by strategic stupidity? March 1944. Ternopil, Ukraine. Hitler declares it a fortress. 4,600 German soldiers must hold it at all costs. The first commander arrives, assesses the situation. Messages. Hitler. This position is hopeless. Hitler fires him immediately. The replacement commander tries anyway. For a month, those 4,600 soldiers hold against overwhelming Soviet forces. When the battle finally ends, 4,545 are dead or wounded. 55 soldiers escape, a 99% casualty rate. German soldiers were professionals, but Hitler's strategic insanity turned professional skill into a death sentence. But
that's
training and
awful.
experience only explain half the story.
Because they
The
were
weapons
great
they carried made
soldiers
the
that he
other
would throw
half.
into the meat
And there's a myth
grinder.
about those weapons we need to destroy right now.
He did that to the Africa
Let's talk about
Corps,
Hitler's
too.
buzzsaw, the MG42, German machine gun, 1,200 rounds per minute. You couldn't hear individual shots, just continuous buzzing.
Now they're 42.
Fuck that. And that was a special tripod.
American bar,
Made 'em
500
deadly
to
accurate.
600 rounds per minute. The MG42 fired twice as
My
fast.
grandfather
But here's what
carried
made
a
it devastating.
VAR.
German squads were built around the machine gun. Riflemen supported it. American squads were built around riflemen. The bar supported them. One German sergeant with an MG-42 could produce more firepower than an
cares
entire American
what
rifle
Nick's
squad.
sexuality?
That's why
I don't give
small
a
German
fuck.
units
He's another
could hold
dude
positions
anyway.
against
What the
larger
fuck will I
American
care?
forces. But the
Only a
MG-42
queer
isn't
would
the
care
weapon
if Nick is
everyone talks
queer.
about.
So
Everyone wants to know about the tanks. Specifically, the myth you've probably heard. It took 5 Shermans to kill 1 Tiger. That's BS. Let me show you the real data.
queers talk
The myth
about other
comes from
men's
one book,
sexuality.
Death Traps by Belton Cooper. Historians consider it unreliable. The actual data?
We
1946
don't
U.S.
need him to
Army
be our
study.
leader.
30 tank
Fucking
versus
jerk
tank
off.
engagements. Sherman versus Panther.
Life.
Sherman kill ratio 3.6 to 1 in favor of the Sherman. Not the other way around. British after-action reports across all tank engagements. Allies inflicted 1.3 casualties for each Sherman loss. In a
Good
frontal
for you.
engagement at long range, the Sherman was at a disadvantage, but American doctrine didn't rely on frontal engagements. Flank it, call air support, use tank destroyers.
Yeah, we had
Fight
much.
smart, not fair.
Our air support and
And here's the
artillery
critical
was way
fact
better
everyone
than
forgets.
theirs.
Tigers were rare. Most German tanks were Panzer IVs, which Shermans fought evenly. The myth that American tanks were helpless is just that, a myth. The Sherman's real advantage was
Tigers
reliability
broke down.
and numbers. For every Tiger Germany produced, America made 10 Shermans, but despite better logistics, better
I'm old.
production,
Desert
overwhelming
Fox.
numbers, American soldiers still took devastating casualties. Why?
You don't know what the
Because
fuck
American
you're talking
abundance
about.
created
Shut
a
your
hidden
fucking
weakness.
mouth.
Here's the paradox that confused everyone. America had the best logistics in military history. When American units needed
Okay.
artillery, hundreds of
That's
guns
your
responded.
opinion, man.
Air support came in squadrons. Replacement tanks arrived within days. Germany had none of this. Undersupplied, low on fuel, low on ammunition. But superior logistics made American units slower. German units traveled light, moved fast. American units waited for supplies, set up supply lines, moved methodically. You could beat them in the morning, and they were on you in the afternoon. While American units were consolidating positions and bringing up supplies, German units retreated, regrouped, and counterattacked. In the long run, American firepower won.
Point.
But in individual battles, German speed killed Americans. At the Battle of the Bulge, Germany
I'm
committed
just
close to
saying,
500,000 men.
Individually,
They lost over 100,000 soldiers.
air.
Irreplaceable.
It's none of my
For America,
fucking business.
replacements were already
I'm not
crossing
gonna
the
go
Atlantic.
watch
But
the
there
dude
was one
make sure
cost
he
of
has
fighting
sex with
Germans that
women.
nobody expected.
It's none
A
of my fucking
psychological burden
business.
that had nothing to do with combat. January 1945. Coldest January ever recorded in Western
Now, if he
Europe.
was flaming,
American
different.
soldiers fighting in the Ardennes weren't just fighting Germans. They were fighting weather that could kill them without an enemy firing a shot. 23,000 American soldiers became trench foot casualties in 2 months. Your feet get wet. Stay wet in freezing temperatures. Flesh rots, turns black, amputations, and you're trying to fight while your feet are dying. Germans had been fighting in winter for years on the Eastern Front. They knew how to prevent it. Americans were learning while dying, but there was a deeper psychological cost. One veteran said it perfectly.
think about how many Americans got off the boats at D-Day. That was their first day first day they ever fired a weapon in combat. Man, I'd hate to have to fucking, figure it out on Normandy beach. Like, fuck that.
What made it hard was they
You're a
looked
dead
like
man
me.
walking.
Many Americans had German last names, German ancestry. You'd capture a German soldier and realize he looked like your uncle. That made killing hard. Until December 17th, 1944, when one event eliminated any sympathy, near Malmedy, Belgium.
Who are
SS
you
troops
trying to
under Joachim
convince
Piper
here,
captured
bro?
84 American soldiers, lined them up in a field, machine-gunned them. This wasn't the Wehrmacht, professional soldiers who fought by rules. This was the SS, Nazi ideological troops who were murderers. And that distinction mattered to every American soldier who fought them. So, if German
Actually,
soldiers
they
were
had
more
trouble killing German soldiers because they look like Americans. It wasn't until the SS went in American uniforms and started killing Americans, kind of butchering them, and then the Americans turned on them real quick and started fucking summarily executing them, not taking prisoners.
effective, man for man. Why did they lose? Strategy, Hitler's insanity, Ternopil, the Bulge, fortress cities, strategic stupidity, squandered tactical brilliance, logistics, peak production rates. Germany couldn't match. One Liberty ship launched every day, one bomber every hour from a single factory. Numbers. America could replace losses. Germany couldn't. Every German casualty was irreplaceable. German soldiers were let down by German leadership. American soldiers who fought Germans came away respecting them. Not as Nazis, as soldiers. You hadn't been in a war unless you had fought the Germans. After the
even
war,
in World War
American
I, they
officers
felt
studied
that way.
German tactics, started adopting mission-oriented command. The modern US military uses concepts borrowed from German doctrine.
From Nazi
Decentralized
doctrine.
command, mission-type orders, NCO initiative. The Germans lost the war, but their doctrine influenced armies for generations. That's the answer. German soldiers were more effective because of training, doctrine, and experience. But America had more
Look at you
soldiers,
guys talking
better
about other
logistics,
men.
and strategic clarity. Quality lost to quantity. But the quality was real. And American soldiers who fought them never forgot it. So here's my question for you. Knowing the 5 Shermans myth isn't true, knowing the real data, do you think German soldiers were actually better? Or is this just history romanticizing the losing side? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to see this debate. If you learned something
People don't romanticize the losing side. They feminize the losing side. The losing side automatically takes on the traits of, like, we still think of the French as like women, basically, because of how big of pussies they were in World War II.
How you see World War II, hit that like button and subscribe for more history that destroys myths and shows you what actually happened. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm fucking out there for the night. Until tomorrow, hopefully I can sort out these technical difficulties.